wonder what's going on there. What is this like giant ball of fire in the sky that is not the sun?
That is not a sun.
That is
Yeah.
not the sun. How did you know that was my reaction? How did you know? I don't remember telling you that beforehand.
I just guess, man. I know you too well.
To clarify, I know what the sun is. Um, that cat man didn't deserve that. Yeah, a lot of people like Digital Circuits, even though it's not necessarily our jam. It might be yours.
Welcome everyone to Save the Script episode number 7. I am Baby Giraffe.
I'm H&M.
We are going to be talking about some indie animation on YouTube.
Yeah, talk about some animated pilots for sure. A lot of big ones, mostly big ones.
Mostly, yeah, the
Yeah.
big ones, the popular ones.
Yeah, a few exceptions, but yeah, mostly the big ones.
We'll probably cover Monkey Wrench in a different episode.
Yeah,
possibly.
I think we're gonna have enough to say about Monkey Wrench for its own episode.
Yep.
So,
but for the ones we want to talk about today is the Amazing Digital Circus, of course, because that's all the rage.
that is like the biggest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've seen like reviews of. It's only 2 episodes, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, many YouTubers have covered both episodes, and
I mean, I would call it like a runaway hit. It's the only animated pilot that I know of on YouTube. Like maybe excluding the Hell of a Boss and that stuff, you know.
I've never even heard of that until right now. This is the first
It's
time.
the Has Been Hotel. Those
Oh
two.
yes, okay. I
Those
hate
two,
that.
excluding those things, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
It's the only one I know of that has been like nominated for kind of like a major award, or at least semi-major award. I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly how big it is, but it was nominated for an Annie Award in character animation, so that's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal.
Because it's competing against like the main industry of animated stuff. So like Blue Eye Samurai and things like that.
Yeah, which actually was because I've seen the first episode of Blue Eye Samurai, and
yeah, that was one of its competitors in the character animation category. So
yeah,
which
Blue Eye Samurai, man, like the fight scene in that first episode. Have you seen that?
No, I've only seen a few clips.
Okay, it's got some iffy stuff in that show, but the fight in the first episode, pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah,
I mean, it looks pretty. It looks like a pretty show.
It takes a very interesting approach to, because when you have sword fighting in movies and shows, what Shad always says is if it lasts more than 10 seconds, it's a bad sword fight. But like things like the Princess Bride, there's reasons the sword fight can be drawn out and lengthened, and the show takes a really interesting approach with it. So
well, I wouldn't agree that if it lasts more than 10 seconds, a bad sword fight. I mean, it's probably an unrealistic one.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a bad one.
Yeah. Well, there are ways to extend fight scenes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Like and make them good.
Yeah.
But if both people are trying to kill each other, usually it should end pretty quick, unless they're like newbies to fighting or something. But
I mean, yeah, it should. There are a lot of fight scenes that go on too long.
yeah. So yeah, we don't have to talk about
But
that.
that's a
I'm just throwing that out there. Everyone watching, you can watch the fight scene in the first episode. It's pretty interesting.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
I might check it out. I'm probably not gonna watch the whole show.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't think I morally can recommend the show.
Yeah,
so.
I saw some things that
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
I don't think I can watch that.
I didn't realize there was that kind of stuff in the show, and I watched the first episode. I was like, yep, I'm done. So
yeah.
But
unfortunate.
So after Digital Circus, well, okay, I guess I don't know what order.
Well, we don't know what order we're gonna talk about.
And then we're also covering Lackadaisy.
Yep.
Lackadaisy, and then Long Gone Gulch, and Godspeed.
Yes. So we've got 4 pretty wide range of tones and kind of what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Long Gone Gulch, which is like the only one that's mostly like episodic as its kind of goal. A lot of the other ones seem to be more serialized.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of a good array of things. Some 3D, some 2D. So, you know.
You want to keep kind of spoiler free for a while, you think? And just
broad overviews of them?
Yeah, I figure for
Sure.
for a while.
Which one do you want to start with?
Digital Circus.
Okay.
The Amazing
The
Digital
Amazing
Circus.
Digital Circus is okay. I think it's all right. I liked episode 2 a bit better.
Oh yeah.
But as the pilot, since we're only talking about the pilots, I'm not super big fan of the pilot. Um, I think I like the music. All right, I think the
Yeah.
music's pretty nice.
I've seen the music showing up in memes and everything.
Yeah, I really like some of the music that plays towards the end of the episode. Um, it's the only show out of the ones we're talking about that I actually was following or had heard of some of the people involved before I'd seen the show. Um, that being Gooseworks and Kevin Timmertunes, um, both of whom I've seen and I like their stuff. I think they're both very talented people. I think Gooseworks, I more prefer her music.
Okay.
I really like her music stuff. I think her animation is good, but it's not really my kind of thing so much.
Does she always do 3D or is it?
She did 2D. She's
Okay.
primarily 2D.
Okay.
Her biggest one is Little Runmo. That's her biggest success on her channel as far as views and stuff.
Okay.
That I know about from memory. So that's kind of what a lot of people know her for. I really like her music though. That's kind of my preference. Kevin Timmertunes, he's done a lot of 3D animation on his channel. He used to work for Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a pretty talented individual. He's done a lot of like squash and stretch in 3D, which is, it's kind of a tricky thing to pull off sometimes. So he's very talented for sure. But he's currently the like animation director. He's like a high, kind of like the big boss of the animation team,
Okay. Yeah.
So, and he's very talented. And when a scene is animated by him, I can usually spot it because it's usually better.
Than everything else.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a knock against everything else. It's just like a compliment towards him because he's very good at what he does.
Gotcha.
So when his character animation is there, it's very expressive and stuff. So you can usually spot it.
Yeah. For Digital Circus, the idea and premise of the show are good. Like, it got me interested. Like, it's a nice mystery aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
But on a whole, the characters just didn't interest me very much, and so I actually found like the side character in episode 2 way more interesting than the main character of the show.
Yeah.
So in the pilot, watching the pilot a couple of times in preparation for this, there's just not a whole lot to latch on to connect with. So
yeah, I think they could have done a bit better at introducing some more of the mystery elements, some of the intrigue, because there's not a lot of stuff that leaves me. I'm not really left with a ton of questions at the end of the pilot.
well, there's nothing for us to know. There's nothing the main character can tell us because she doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
So
But there are ways you can kind of build an intrigue with a character who doesn't really know what's going on.
yeah, that's true.
I think the first episode of WandaVision is very good at building up like intrigue to the mystery.
Yeah.
I think the answers to the mystery are terrible, and it's not a good show overall. But I think that first episode is, in isolation, it's a very good episode. It just doesn't actually build to anything, which is really a big bummer.
Yeah.
Such a disappointment. But this pilot doesn't really hook me in that way. It doesn't leave me with a lot of questions that I'm like, I really want to know what the answers are here. Ow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would like to know, but I'll keep watching, I guess. But it's not something I'm very interested in, like, because characters are usually what pulls me into any given story, and if I don't really feel attached to any of the characters, there's not
and that's
a lot of motivation to keep going.
That's
so.
one of the trickiest things about a pilot is introducing the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't get that right, then people, you can get away with it, but that's one of the big things that you need to get right is introducing your main characters, because they are going to be the thing that people like stick around for.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. In Palmy, it's like, well, we just gave you a random name, and so it doesn't feel very special. But
Yeah,
I understand
yeah.
it comes with the premise and it comes with the mystery. I would just like it if she was a little more,
I
I don't know, expressive is the right
yeah.
term, because she does do like she freaks out, and I like that stuff. Like it
Hmm.
humanizes her. Um,
For sure.
but yeah, it's just not enough for me, I guess.
Yeah, and some of that is kind of related to the premise. It's kind of hard to draw on motivation for a character who has no memory,
Yeah.
other than like get my memory back, or in Pomni's cases like go home, and so it's kind of hard to like because we can't have a reason why so much that we can relate to as much. Like it's not I need to go home to my family. I need to go home because like I have a life, I have a
Yeah.
job, I have something.
Well,
There's something waiting for me there because she doesn't know.
well, that's the thing. Like she says, I need to go home, but like, are you gonna address the fact that you don't know if you're real or not?
The only
Like
thing the
you could be fake. You could be an AI. Like so what? Like I don't know.
I don't know about that cuz the only thing she remembers is we know she remembers the headset. She
Yeah.
remembers putting on a headset. So she remembers not being here, so being in the real world. So
Well, does she? Does she?
I mean, she knows it's not her body
Yes.
and she knows she put on a headset. So she does have like a very small piece of memory, probably just like right before she got sucked in. But we're not gonna get into all that right now because spoil it free. So
Yeah. I mean, but in
yeah.
my mind, if you forget your name, you don't know diddly. You don't know anything. Like
Yes, but we do know she knows those two things for sure
okay.
because she has lines where she says that she just like specifically references a headset and she doesn't like
She remembers what a headset is. She
yes.
knows the name of a headset. She knows what that is. Not a name.
Well, she knows that she had it.
Okay.
She put a headset on and she couldn't get it off. She was trying to take it off. So that's probably like all she knows from the real world. But yeah, so overall, mystery. The pilot doesn't do a great job of.
But that's like my thing. How do you know what the real world is if you have no memory? Like, if you have no memory of the real world, there would be nothing to remember. You just a headset. Oh, that was a weird thing that was in my mind a few seconds ago.
Well, presumably, she knows like just before she got sucked in. That would be my presumption, but
Okay, I would have thought she would have been like talking about that a lot more than just like, oh, where am I? Oh my god, what in the world is this place? Like,
yeah, we don't really have a lot of
so
information to go off of there. It's just like her trying to get the headset off. She looks at the computer for, for a little bit there.
yeah.
Um, so that might seem familiar to her, but we don't have a lot of specifics to work with. But that's okay. For now, I guess.
I know.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not. See, I'm just not very enthralled with it. I guess. Not
Yeah,
very.
I can understand why it's popular. It has a particular like style of comedy that a lot of people enjoy. It's not so much my thing, but a lot of people enjoy it. It has an aesthetic that a lot of people like. I like the aesthetic to a degree. Um, Not quite as much as a lot of other people do. I know I think there's some crossover between kind of the I don't want to say like it's definitive or anything, but it's kind of like the same idea as like the Five Nights at Freddy thing, where it's like you take this thing that's normally kind of innocent and add some dark undertones to it. That's kind of a popular thing on YouTube, right? There are a lot of
Yeah.
mascot horror games and stuff. Not saying it's directly that crowd who's being attracted to the show, but like the kind of idea of taking something that's more innocent and adding some dark undertones to it, that does attract people.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's the most interesting parts about the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of the comedy, but like if you like that kind of thing, if you like some of that dark undertones and stuff like that, you might enjoy
Who's
this.
the rabbit? Yeah.
Jax.
Jax. He's my favorite part. His comedy is like the best part for me.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny. I liked Kinger's comedy.
Kinger. Oh my! When
I thought he was
they're
pretty
staring at
funny.
they're staring at the black pit.
Yeah.
And
His
you scared
comedy.
me.
His comedy worked for me more, which I'm I really liked his jokes. His jokes were
Yeah,
funny.
that was
I thought
pretty good.
some of the other characters were a little too much for me. I I wasn't crazy about Kane's comedy. I thought that was a little too much for me,
Yeah.
but so if you like those like that kind of like comedy and that like a little bit of those dark undertones, this might be for you. But then again, if you're listening to this, you've probably already seen this.
Yeah,
So.
and I mean, if you haven't seen the second episode, I would definitely recommend the second episode.
Yeah, I like the second episode a lot better.
Because it goes in a pretty good direction, and it's very interesting to watch. So.
Yes, I think it has a lot better focus on the characters in that one.
And if going forward, like the pilot is like the worst episode, the weakest episode, like I'll be happy if that's if it's the weakest episode.
I think Glitch as a studio has a lot of potential, and they are becoming like a driving force in the indie animation industry, like in that part. I know they're already working with Lackadaisy. They've started like a kind of like a merch marketing part.
Okay.
So like a company that's related to Glitch, but it's not the animation part. They help market animated stuff so other people can hire them to produce plushies and merch and things like that.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So Lackadaisy's working with them on that side. And they've already hosted like a big like a live stream convention between the creator of Monkey Wrench, Murder Drones, Gooseworks for Digital Circus, or The Amazing Digital Circus.
The Amazing.
Lackadaisy and Has Been Hotel.
Okay.
So, they've brought in some pretty big indie animators and stuff to get together.
Well, that's awesome if it will help support like other smaller animation channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're smaller, like technically. They're still pretty big, but yeah. I think they can do a lot of good stuff here, but they need to be very careful because sometimes when people get big on YouTube, things go wrong. Let's not forget Machinima, because if you know about Machinima, it didn't turn out so well for the people involved. So let's hope they do better than that. Let's hope they are careful and very intentional as they grow, because sometimes sudden growth can lead to a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I mean, they're reaching out to creators on YouTube, very talented people, bringing them together, giving them shows, which is really cool.
That's great.
And they're improving. They're getting better as they go. Like you can definitely see an improvement. If you watch Murder Drones, you'll see an improvement as they get further into that series. You see their animation going up and stuff. Like the quality gets better. There's still certain flaws with that series. I think that series has some major flaws to it, like some really big flaws to it. I think it loses its premise.
Really?
Yeah. It definitely loses the premise of the pilot, but that's not entirely its fault. They really shouldn't have had that premise in the first place, given the limitation of the website they're using. So, I mean, you could have made it work, but that goal, they were never going to really achieve that goal quite as viscerally as they like to achieve their other goals. So I don't want to be too off topic there, but I think Glitch can do some really cool stuff, and they could be like a major positive influence for indie animation.
Oh yeah. Well, they already have.
They already have been.
Everyone's gushing over Digital Circus. So.
Yeah, they already have been. So let's just hope they keep going in the right direction.
Yeah, keep improving.
So
keep going.
Don't make any dumb mistakes. So don't be Machinima, guys, please. Don't do it again.
Not again.
So overall, as our spoiler-free section of Digital Circus, you would summarize your thoughts?
Just not super pulled into it. But it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah. I think it's worth a watch.
I'll give it 1 thumb up.
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch. I think if you like it, you'll probably really like it, and if you don't like it, you'll probably just move on. So
Yeah.
so it's not too much of a waste of your time or anything.
Oh
So
yeah, oh, yeah. I'm not gonna
yeah,
say it's bad by any means. Actually,
no,
it's
no, it's definitely not bad. It
it's
just
definitely not bad. It just doesn't grab me. That's
yeah, I think
not.
that's
It
the best
doesn't
way to
pique my
put it
interest.
for
So,
sure.
but yeah,
Yeah,
not bad.
I would agree with that. Not bad, but it didn't really hook me.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of Lackadaisy?
Lackadaisy. So I've got a few mixed opinions on it because uh, I had to like restart watching it like 5 times because the intro I was so I'm like watching this intro to this episode. This character is singing about the Mississippi River.
Well, he's not. Yeah, it's a poem. It's a
Yeah.
poem with a like a
Well, I
musical
don't understand
accompaniment.
what it's supposed to be about, and
I I want to talk more about that in
I
the
only
spoilers
I
section
only
for
take it
sure.
like slightly literal when he's talking about physical places and things, and
Yeah,
I don't really get the musical
I
themes.
don't really like the intro very much.
Okay,
But we can talk more about
that
why.
later. Okay,
Yeah.
but um, uh, I like that all of the different characters. I like how they interact with each other. Um, how expressive they are. The bad guys are laughing a lot, and they contrast with the other bad guy, and super stoic and all that. And
Mhm.
I like there are strong archetypes and
Yeah.
the way they all interact together. But also, everyone just seems kind of weird and kind of crazy, in my opinion. Um,
Um I would think a lot of them seem mentally unstable, yes.
yeah, that's the thing. Like no one is acting like I would think any reasonable person should be acting. Um,
Yeah, I
um, it's very odd. Um,
yeah, there's some strange like reaction to what's going on,
yeah,
but I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that.
but once the show got going, I found it pretty exciting to watch. I
Yeah.
didn't have any problem, and I mean like once I started noticing things like the line animation
Mhm.
underneath everything, I was like, man, I'm like glued to this now. I want to like
Yeah.
I was rewatching it. I was like, I want to like rewatch this and look at how they draw this elbow here. I want to see how it pops in, like the line work pops in and out like
Yeah.
real quick, and I want to look at that again. I want to see how this character is like, how he when he turns his face, how it like lines up in
Mhm.
different directions. As someone who can't draw literally anything good, so I'm just like, oh, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that till like 5 minutes in. Then I was like, wait, I gotta restart this. I don't know. I want to see how they do this. So I like watched it on my phone, then I watched it on my computer just so I could see it blown up better. And I was pretty happy with it. I think it looks really good.
Oh yeah, I think the visuals are a highlight for sure.
Yeah, I mean there are several points where like if you like good looking animation, I would just recommend it straight for that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so
If you like animation, it's a treat to watch just to just for the visuals alone.
yeah, absolutely. That's like the top praise for it right there is the visuals. So
I would agree with that for sure. Um, I think the expressions you highlighted the expressions.
yep,
There are some really good expressions.
everyone's over the top, and I'm kind of with that. So you know,
There are some really good expressions that are really funny. So I like those a lot. I'm not. I think the main character for me is probably the weakest part.
really okay.
Yeah.
Just because he's crazy, or just
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Yeah. I think it's just there's not like this strong goal. I'm not really invested in him, you know?
okay, I understand. I understand. Um,
Like I don't connect with him as a character, you know?
I didn't get that as much. It was more so. Well, I mean, I guess I agree. I don't connect with him and what he's doing or anything like that because he doesn't seem to have a ton of motivation that we know of.
Right.
But I'm okay. I guess I was okay with him just doing whatever the heck he wants
I mean, it's
because
fine.
he seemed
I don't have like a big problem with it. It's just one of those things that's preventing me from being like hyper invested in what's going on.
Yeah, I guess I'm not hyper invested either, but I would say I'm interested, not hyper
Peaked.
invested.
Your interest is peaked, but it's not like captured, right?
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
yes.
I think that's a reasonable reaction for sure. I I'd probably be in a similar category. I'm not like I have to see what happens next, or like I would really like to see what. I'm just like, yeah, I'd watch it. I'd watch another
Okay,
one.
yeah.
I think if I were more invested in the main character, that would help me be more excited about what's going to happen in the show. If his motivation was a little clearer, maybe to me, um, I would be more excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. There are a few. I could have bet money on like, okay, this is what's going to happen next. This is what's going to happen next. And then when it was shown to me what happened next, I was like, well, that is the furthest thing from my mind that I was expecting to happen in this show. But okay, good. I'm just glad. I guess the main character in particular, whenever he does stuff, even though it might be crazy at times or seem like there's not very much motivation, I'm still behind it because he does it with 100% like power and
Okay.
like confidence. And so I'm like, yeah, I want to see this guy do some crazy stuff.
So you like his attitude? You
Yeah,
like
I don't
how
like even
committed
when
he
he's
is.
singing a song, like I don't even know what the heck he's talking about. Like, why is he singing about the freaking Mississippi River? But just the way he's doing it and the way it looks and his attitude, I'm like, yeah, go for it, man. Sing about that river. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I want to
Pretty-
see it. I just the reason behind it is just it's just straight up because I'm interested in his attitude, not necessarily his character behind
yeah,
or
I think that's
motivations.
reasonable.
I guess I don't have much motivation for him.
Yeah.
So
I think the setting's really interesting. 1920s
oh yeah.
sort of. Yeah. With the prohibition stuff, I think that's really cool. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think a lot of I don't think I've ever seen an animated series go that direction. So I'm really interested in the setting and the possibilities behind that.
Yeah. I guess I mean, it's not that much. It's not a spoiler to say all like there's no humans. They're all animals.
Yeah, they're all cats.
Yeah, all cats.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just interesting to see like a really nice visual style, a nice timepiece, and then also they're all cats. And it's like because it's animation, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
And so
man.
I was really happy. I was like, I like watching this.
Yeah, and they take advantage of the fact that they are cats for some cool like visual gags and stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what are your summary thoughts over it?
Um, Summary thoughts. Obviously, intro, not super excited. Man, I know YouTube, so I know my video analytics and how
Yeah.
much they drop off at the beginning, and I can't even imagine what
I
like
would
that.
be curious to see.
So I would be interested to see the
Yeah.
analytics for if how many dipped off during the first like 2.5 minutes is him
'Cause
singing, like.
I know it took me a couple of times to get past that part. I
But
just-
but I would say everything after that kept my attention
Mhm.
like pretty good. So
I really like the action scene. So
I don't know what to expect going forward, but I'll definitely watch it, whatever it is. So
yeah.
at least for a couple
Oh,
episodes.
I almost forgot. I also really like the music. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
an electro swing, which it's pretty neat. I like swing. I like
Yeah.
electro swing too, but I really like swing.
I actually
so,
thought at the end where some of the background characters were like involved in the soundtrack, I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
So
So I think it's worth checking out for sure.
absolutely.
Like the visuals, at the very least, would make it worth
Yeah.
checking out. But there's also a lot of other neat stuff you can see in it. So
Yeah.
worth a watch. We're probably gonna say that for all of them, but,
Yeah, man, maybe, yeah.
but I mean, we chose these for a reason. So
Yeah. We don't hate any of them.
no,
At least
absolutely
I
not.
don't. Agent M might.
I don't hate any of them.
Okay.
So, Long Gone Gulch.
Long Gone Gulch. This one's my favorite. I'm gonna say it right now. This one's definitely my favorite out of
Probably
the
my
four.
favorite too. Yeah,
Um,
I really love Long Gone Gulch. I watched it a few years ago, and it's
I mean,
It's
like
pretty
one of the
high
main
up there
characters'
for
name
me.
is Rawhide. I mean, that's just
It's pretty good.
the intro sequence to like. I was like glued to it, man.
Mhm.
Everyone is so expressive. Everyone does everything 100%, and
The characters are really strong
yeah.
personalities.
Well, I at the beginning, after like 5 minutes, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be okay with this like over the top of character work. And then like halfway through, I'm like, man, this is fun. Like
Oh yeah,
I was like,
it's very like Cartoon Network.
that's
That's
what
how
you.
it feels to me.
Yeah, you were like, this one's the most one that feels like it could have been like a real show that aired like on TV.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that's 100% correct. Like, it just feels like there's so much energy. Like, and
It,
I was all about it. After like halfway through, I was like, yeah, I wanna keep going.
it's just really fun to watch. Like it's just really fun to watch. I
And
don't know
this
what
one
else to
is
say.
easily the funniest. Like the jokes in this one
Oh
just
yeah,
kept landing for me. It was pretty good.
this is much more my humor. Much more my humor than Digital Circus is my humor. This is much closer. It's like spot on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This is.
and like the designs of the characters
Oh yeah.
are this has my favorite character designs. Um, they're just all so fun. They're all so much fun.
I I don't know what you would call it when like a character's like flying through the screen and like the background disappear like goes blurry and like I call it like an anime type moment where that's just what that's just what I think. Even as a guy who doesn't watch any anime basically. But when that stuff happens, I'm like it's just so I don't know. I guess cartoony is the word I would say.
Yeah,
But you know, it just looks really cool. Feels really cool.
yeah.
I would love to watch an entire season or entire show of this stuff.
I would watch multiple seasons. I'm already hooked. I think this is the pilot that hooked me the most.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm on board.
Like I said at the beginning, I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to match this energy. I don't know if this is the kind of show because I think I watched it right after I finished watching Lackadaisy and then
Mhm.
watched Raw. And, yeah, but I was all over it after halfway through it. I was like, heck yeah, where's the next episode? How many months do we have to wait for one more piece
Dude,
of content?
I really hope it keeps going. I really hope it keeps going. I really want to see more. Um, I think they do a really good job of establishing the characters and even the motivation of the characters in this episode.
In the
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, I don't know how if I should say it. Yeah, I think I can comment like for a pilot, I think it does its job the best.
I
out
think
of 'em.
that I would agree.
Yeah.
As a pilot, I think this accomplishes what a pilot is supposed to do
Oh yeah.
the best out of the four.
Yeah. I'm trying. Is that the reason I found it the most enjoyable? Probably one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Probably one of the.
I mean, my personal taste is I like this kind of show. So it already has like a leg up because it's aligning with my tastes, but
Mhm.
like in execution, I think objectively it achieves some things like really well.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially establishing character, setting, tone, just
Even background with her dad, like talking about him and everything. I'm like, man, they're
Yeah.
like they're like ticking all the boxes in the
Mhm.
in the first episode,
yeah,
man.
I think Rawhide is one of the characters like out of the protagonists. I think I'm most invested in Rawhide as a character.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I would definitely recommend this show, especially if you like that like the Cartoon Network like style, like that energy. Those
Oh, it's
types of
so much fun,
visuals.
man. It is
Yeah.
so much fun. I felt like I just kept laughing. Like I was just really into it.
Oh yeah. I would say give it a shot for sure. Like if I have to pick one to recommend, this is the one I would recommend.
Absolutely.
But because I'm just kind of gushing right now. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep spoiler free, but
Try to keep spoiler free, yeah. But
top 2 recommend for us.
yes, I would agree. So Godspeed.
Godspeed. This one's like 45 minutes long, right? This was like the longest
I don't think it's 45, but it is the longest, I think.
out of them.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it is the longest.
What are your thoughts on this one? What are your thoughts?
Well, Uh, I'm still trying to process. Trying to,
Okay.
because I just watched this one. This was the last one I watched.
Okay.
And it's the only one I hadn't seen before. I'm intrigued. I think this one, in terms of like my investment, I think this one's probably second. I'm I'm most curious about uh Long Gone Gulch, but
Mm-hmm.
this one is like as far as the serialized stuff, I'm most curious about this one, as far as the serialized and not the more episodic thing.
Okay.
So,
Um, for me, I actually watched this like a while ago,
mhm.
and this was like the first animated thing I ever watched, like original animation thing I watched on YouTube. Um, I had no clue there was like so much more, and
Oh
then
yeah,
HM's like, "Yeah, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know people made animations on YouTube for free."
there's
Okay,
tons of it.
so but this was the first one I saw, and I thought it was pretty good, and I've rewatched it a couple times
Mhm.
with my wife, and it probably takes itself a little too seriously, I would say.
Um,
It has some like emotional climaxes that would be like at a mid season
I do feel like
point.
it moves a little fast at points. I think that's fair to say. Um,
I think particularly like the music during the end is like, man, you're like really
it's
trying to go hard here.
yeah, the music is it's very dramatic.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
dramatic, and I'm not sure I'm at that point where I think that's earned.
yeah. So, but I mean, I'm very interested in the premise of the show. So, and I think
Yeah.
I think I think actually this one pulled me in like the fastest out of all of them, just
Mhm.
because the intro like really got me. Like,
I would agree with that.
so um, that's what really got me was the first opening segment. So
Yes. I would definitely agree with that where it's this kind of like apocalyptic event
yeah, yeah,
and
and there is like a mystery aspect to it too.
yeah,
Um,
there are some natural questions that come up that go unanswered and so there's things to like think about.
yep,
So this show does leave you with some intrigue. Just some things like I wonder what's going on there. What is this like giant ball of fire in the sky that is not the sun?
that is not a stunt.
That
Yeah,
is not the sun. To clarify, I know what the sun is. Um, why is it getting so close to this planet? Um, you know, just a lot of questions about mainly that disaster, but also some about the protagonist and her family and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Uh, Yeah, I guess I'll have some things to say. We'll wait till more spoilers section
Okay.
to do that. But yeah, I thought pretty much the whole way through I was like, this is pretty interesting. I
Hmm.
really want to see more. So
I was definitely intrigued. I There were some things that I was not expecting to be wrapped up in the pilot because I thought I kind of got a little
yeah,
confused about what the premise was, but we can talk more about specifically what that is.
yeah,
But it's a really cool like sci-fi show
I,
with
I
a
like the style of it too.
yeah,
I was pretty
has a very interesting visual style.
yeah.
I am maybe a little concerned that there might be some limitations with it because it's very geometric,
It is, yeah.
but it is it is appealing. Like I like the way it looks, but I'm not sure how well it's going to move
That well,
in certain
I was gonna
circumstances.
say I really liked it for the setting in the desert and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna do in space and going to
Yeah.
different locations. So that's my
Yeah, cuz
question. So
the initial like premise and setting kind of shifts at the end of the episode.
yeah,
Not to the point where I think they've just straight up lost the premise, but it's not what I expected. It feels like they resolved something that was going to take longer to resolve.
oh yeah,
But
that's why I think they moved too fast and yeah, yeah. Well, we can talk about
yeah, we can talk more about the specifics of that, but strong visuals. I think the character makes a very good impression very quickly. Um she has a very selfless moment early on that makes her very likable,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's before she's even has any dialogue at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they do a good job of kind of establishing what type of a person she is quickly, and just establishing her as a character um, within the pilot. which can be a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I think they do it pretty good. Like, well, I was surprised at how fast they did it for me because, like I said, it pulled me in pretty quick.
Yeah, I was intrigued. I really like the opening in this one.
I guess like my thoughts on it for anyone wanting to know if they should watch it. I would definitely recommend watching it. But this is the kind of one where it'd be like if you watch this one episode and you don't want to watch more, I would understand that. I would understand if you don't have any conclusion, any inclination to go forward. I will. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm interested as well.
Yeah, but I can understand just not wanting to see or not needing to see what happens next because it is kind of its own.
I think you could be satisfied with it as its own thing. It's like a short story that teases a season. Like, yeah, kind of.
That's kind of what I would say about it.
That's one of the things that's kind of like, is it doing its job as a pilot like really well here? I'm not super sure if it is.
I would say it would if it didn't have the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, because I think the premise shifts at the end, and I think that's really the big thing. Because like the initial premise, it's like, okay, I'm on board, I'm ready to go, and then at the ending kind of changes what we're doing for the rest of the show, and then it's like, well, I guess I can get on board, but this is a different train.
It's like a completely different side quest.
Yeah.
Or I guess not.
I was going this direction. Now I'm going like kind of the same direction. I mean, it's the same country, but it's definitely a different city. And they're on like, they're similar, but they're on opposite coasts. Like they're both seaside, but it's different. It's not what I was expecting.
It's not what you were promised. It's not what you were led to believe in the entirety of the episode.
Yeah, but I do think there are some really strong moments. I think there's a lot of interesting theming going on, especially with the added context of who's making it. The themes there's a lot of reason behind the theme. So I think it's very interesting as a sci-fi premise. If you like sci-fi and if you like animation with like unique visuals and stuff, I think it's worth watching.
I would recommend it just for the visuals.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
I think it's worth checking out, especially if you're interested in sci-fi, because I think it's a very interesting sci-fi premise. So that's kind of my broad thoughts on it. But
yeah, I would pretty much agree. The more I think about it, the more I think that they should have just cut the last 5 minutes of it off. It kind of betrays the focus of the rest of the episode.
I would probably agree, or they should make they should make it clear that the initial goal is not the overarching goal, right? That it make it clear that it's a short-term thing and not a long-term thing. Yeah. If that was a little better established, I think it wouldn't be as I don't want to say jarring because that feels too extreme, but kind of disconnected, or kind of like a change, like a switch. Yeah. To me, if they change that, and this is also the most like serious in tone, I would say.
Oh yes, definitely.
So
it has jokes, but
it has jokes,
it's
but
not...
I would say it's like primarily a serious thing. The jokes are like character based. It's not going for like a comedic tone overall. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and we can talk about that.
Which
spoilers.
A lot of the other shows are going for more of a comedic tone. Mm-hmm. So if you're less interested in the comedic stuff and more interested in the serious stuff, this is probably worth checking out. Like if you're gonna pick one of the three or one of the four, then you might want to give this one a watch over the others if you're more interested in like a serious tone.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, that's probably the end of non-spoiler thoughts. So
you want to go back through the same order and just
if we
go
can remember.
More I mean, it's just 4. We started with Digital Circus.
We started with Digital Circus. Okay. I know 3 of the 4, so that means I know the 4.
That's how the numbers work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm smart. So, Digital Circus? Spoilers?
I guess
Okay.
I don't know because I don't want to talk about. There's not much to talk about the mystery of it all. Like, Cosmo's been abstracted. Is that what it is?
Abstracted. Yeah.
Abstracted, and what we're told is that's what happens when you go crazy.
Mhm.
We don't exactly know like what go crazy because he wrote like the exit all over the walls and
Right.
everything. But we know the exit door was a real thing because Pommy saw it.
Right.
So why did he go? I'm not. I just don't understand. Just the whole mystery aspect of it. It's intriguing, but also it doesn't give me enough information that I understand, and that
Well,
might be.
I just don't think it leaves me asking a ton of questions personally. Like, I'm like kind of curious, but there are not like any big questions that I'm like, I need to know that. Um, I've been watching Heroes recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that show does a good job of maintaining like suspense, of getting you to go like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Um, I think that has a pretty good pilot, pretty interesting pilot, that leaves you asking questions. Like there's some characters that are like, oh, who is this guy? Who's he working for? Why is he doing these things? There's enough information to go, okay, this guy's up to something, but I don't know exactly what, and I want to find out. And it's those types of questions that I don't really have them for Digital Circus as much. I'm not like, okay, who's that person? What are they up to? Or like, I don't have a lot of those types of questions.
I mean, I do. If I was Pommy and Cosmo is like basically a god of this world, I would be nonstop.
You mean Kane?
Kane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cosmo's the crazy. Okay, he went
Yeah.
crazy. Okay. If Kane,
Or
like if Kane,
Kaufmo. It's Kaufmo.
Kaufmo,
Yeah, it's Kaufmo.
not Cosmo,
Yeah, it's Kaufmo.
Kaufmo.
Kaufmo. I'm pretty sure.
That's weird.
I was thinking Cosmo doesn't sound right, so I think it's Kaufmo. Kaufmo the clown. Cosmo's from Fairly Odd Parents.
I've never seen Fairly Odd Parents.
You should. It's fun.
Okay. Okay.
At least the first
like,
couple seasons.
Pommy should be like begging him like I wouldn't accept the answer that there's no like way out from this person who can seemingly create anything at a whim. Like
Yeah.
can teleport anywhere, can teleport in and out of existence seemingly. I would be for sure he would know the way out. Like this idea is, oh my goodness, there's no way out. Like this character has told you there's no way out. I would be like cornering him nonstop. Like,
To be fair, he disappears pretty early in the episode.
yeah.
So she doesn't have a lot of opportunities to.
But she doesn't ask about him. Like,
I think that's
like
fair, yeah.
you go to a different character. Hey, who is this guy who literally has given me my name, has explained to me where I'm at, has like showed me around everywhere, can teleport me seemingly to different places at a whim. Why can't he not take us out? Like, I would be asking those types of questions.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm okay with her just being panicked though, because she's kind of just overwhelmed by everything that's happening.
Yeah, you like, yeah, but like if I was like just teleported into like a ring of lions and there was someone else who could teleport in and out, like I would be asked, like I would want to know, like,
Well,
how are you doing that?
It's not a ring of lions. It's not that urgent though.
I would say it's more urgent. You have no like your physical body is like been like different, like altered. Like this is like a
Yeah.
major thing. I
Yeah.
would be freaking out too, and I would be mean. Like, get me out of here.
I think that's a fair reaction. I do think it's fair to be just kind of overwhelmed as well, though. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but like I understand why you would have.
I mean, the kind of questions I would be asking questions nonstop.
Yeah.
I would. Like, I guess like she like pauses for a while, like, oh my goodness, this is I'm dreaming. I remember that segment, and I'm
She
like,
is trying to rationalize.
like
it
yeah,
as-
okay, I understand. People would try to rationalize it, yes.
It's only really towards like the very end of the episode where I think she's accepted, like,
Which is looking at the
this is-
food and the
yeah,
music starts
this
playing.
is real. Which that track at the end there,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
I've seen that everywhere, man.
It's very good. I think there's a good reason why it blew up.
Yeah.
It's very good at adding that sense of finality, or like it's kind of like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling like this is really it, man. I really like that moment. I think that's a good moment.
That's a really
of
good
her
moment.
just realizing what's going on. Animation wise, I'm pretty sure this was Kevin Timmer tunes. But when she's talking to Ragatha, after she's been like all glitched out, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was him. But there's this like very smooth like character animation where Pomni is just very expressive in like all these minute ways where she's like moving her hands and stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for me to describe.
After they've been cured.
No.
No, after.
It's
Before?
not after they've been cured. It's before.
Okay.
When she goes back
To
and
get her.
Ragatha's lying on the ground freaking out. Yeah.
Okay.
There's also like a neat visual gag where Ragatha's eyes like play Pong with her nose.
Yeah,
That's fun.
I really like some of the
visuals.
visuals. Yeah.
I really like that one character animation part. I don't know if you remember it though. I'm not doing the best job at describing it, but do you kind of know what I'm talking about?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
It looks okay in my opinion.
I
Like,
think that one part it looks really good. I think there are some other parts that don't look so good. I noticed the Gloink Queen. There's one part where she's talking, and like her face, like there's like a hole in her face.
what?
It's really quick.
Okay.
Her model's like clipping.
Oh.
So there's like a hole in her face. That, it doesn't look good. It's not a big deal. It's just a minor error, but it's not perfect. And with a show this big, a lot of people will say it's perfect. So
Yeah.
and that's not to say it's bad. Do you think
Oh,
it's
no.
good? I think it's
No,
good.
it's not bad. It's
But there are some like some visuals and stuff that are just not great. I don't think they're at like television quality,
yeah. Did you like most of, like the physical gags like with the animation?
I like some of them.
Some of them. Okay. I didn't think it was
I
too.
didn't think it was. It wasn't my favorite stuff. Like I remember the flower pot like clipping in the ground at first, like when she I didn't find that all that funny. I know it was probably supposed to be a joke, but it just didn't land for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't crazy about that. The comedy I liked the best was Kinger. I just thought he was funny.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny. I thought Jax's just kind of like matter of fact, like nonchalantness was pretty funny too.
Yeah, that's the reason I like him. He's just so like, well, I'm here. I might as well just be an idiot.
Yeah,
like
he's just kind of he's
do
not
whatever-
taking it very
He
seriously.
just does whatever he
Yeah.
wants all the time.
Yeah, I like his comedy too.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of Kane's comedy,
Yeah,
especially his physical gags. Like,
I thought it was a little over top, little too much for me.
yeah,
Which I understand he's supposed to be the most over the top because he's the one who's actually like a program. But
supposedly.
I mean, I guess they could change that. They could. I mean, I guess, but that's what it is in the pilot, and I think it's that way in episode 2. But
What do you? He says he's a program?
I mean, it's pretty heavily implied that he's not human. Did you not?
I mean, see, like in a show like this, like if episode 3 came out and said, like one of the characters, like one of the human characters, wasn't a human, is like an AI. Like, sure, like absolutely, why not?
Oh, I don't think Kane was established as human though.
No, I don't think so either. But if he was revealed to be a human, like I wouldn't be surprised by it.
I would be a little confused.
You'd be confused?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
I think there was ways you could justify it, but I would be a little bit confused because he doesn't like, he refers to humans as like separately
Yeah.
from himself. So I'd be a little confused, but I don't know.
I don't the whole I it's interesting because I like the ideas they talked about, like they introduced in season in episode not season 2 episode 2,
Yeah.
like, oh, like this AI is like gaining, like understands that who he is. I'm like, and
Well, we don't want to spoil episode
okay,
2
I
too
guess I
much
just
here.
did spoil episode 2.
Maybe a little.
Okay, but those are the kind of things, like in episode 1, like how do these humans know they're humans?
I
Like
I don't know. I kind of just accepted that. I guess I suspended my disbelief. So
okay,
I never really thought about it too much.
okay.
I didn't think the amnesia was so extreme that they forgot that they were human at all.
Well, I think it's implied they're supposed to believe they're human, but I don't know. That's the thing. I just
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not sure.
like Palmy thinks she's like a real person, but like if I was told in episode 4 or something that like nope, turns out she's not. She was just what if a human thought they were like trapped in this place, like, and what would happen? Like, sure, why not? I don't know.
I would be surprised. I don't think that's the direction they're going, but I would be a little. I mean, I would
I
be
just
more
don't know, man.
confused than surprised.
Yeah, the whole mystery aspect is just kind of, I don't have enough information, and I wouldn't really be surprised at anything, really. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think the mystery is my favorite part, really.
Well, it is my favorite part, but because I don't know, the characters just don't grab me as much.
I mean,
but...
I'm not terribly invested in general, but I like some of the characters. I like Kinger because he was funny
Kinger is funny.
That's why I
Kinger
like
is funny.
just
I just love
when-
it. Staring at the black the pit. He's just
we're not very good at this.
you scared me.
Where he's excited to go like save Zubul and grabs her and his hands just float away. That was a pretty good visual
That
gag.
was pretty good. And he just
I
doesn't
like
know
that
what's
one.
happening.
Just like, oh. I like those ones. I did like the part where he just didn't realize somebody was right there next to him.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny too. I didn't like the game show one. It's just like, Zubul, was there a game show in there? It just seemed kind of like random humor.
Yeah,
I didn't really like random humor very much.
Yeah.
Weed eater.
I don't know. The comedy just didn't get me like it probably should have. Like for how as many jokes there were, not a good amount of them landed for me.
I would say maybe what, like 20, maybe 25 is probably too high for me, but
20%, yeah,
25%.
yeah.
I think that's probably roughly right.
Yeah. And
Which,
Scooby Doo gets me like 50% of the time, and so that's my top tier comedy right there. Is Scooby Doo. So.
I just, the comedy wasn't. It's not really my thing so much. I think that's true for Glitch's other big show, Murder Drones. I don't really like the comedy in that very much. That one, my big problem with that one is it's too meta.
Okay.
I think that's one of my big problems with that show is just it's way too meta for me. And, it changes what it's working towards for a couple things. So, and I didn't really like that very much because I was on board with the premise and I was like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. And then I got off the track. I got off. So, but yeah, I mean, I like the kind of like style and setting of the show, for Digital Circus. It's kind of unique.
It's very unique.
It fits with
Very unique.
kind of what Gooseworks done in the past. So
Okay.
I think it's interesting to have it in like an old like computer game in that kind of style. I haven't seen that done before, so it's kind of neat. There's some fun character designs. I think Kane is a really fun character design.
Yeah. I like the character designs for all the characters, I think.
Yeah. I think Kane's
How unique they all are. I like that.
I think Kane as a design, he's probably my favorite. I just really like the mouth with the eyes in it and stuff. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. Everything just looks too clean. Looks all.
Yeah, I don't know if they really achieve um like the old computer game
Well,
style.
with at the very end when they're eating the food and everything,
Hmm.
everything is like stylized. That was the like, oh, this looks like a video game,
Yeah,
and
I think
I really like that scene just because of like how everything looked.
yeah, I think
But
I know it's intentional, I'm sure, but they didn't really go all the way with that idea for like a setting and a style.
hmm
Um, because if they had, the characters would probably be a lot more polygonal.
yeah, well, I'm okay if like say all the backgrounds, the characters weren't that way, but like all the with the gloimps or
The
is it
goinks, yeah.
gloinks, like they should have been more like video gamey rather than just they were just shapes that bounced around. That's all they were.
I mean, like, I have less of a problem with the goinks because those could be in an old video game. You know, they're not like super high fidelity.
Yeah.
But like the Gloink Queen is pretty complex for like an old computer game like that.
Oh, I am gloinks. Everything should be gloinks. I thought that was kind of funny. I like the design where like
Oh yeah, I
the
think
bird and that
I like the Gloink Queen where it's just like the whole thing is like one
one
mouth
mouth.
that's all the way through
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
two
I like
heads.
that.
I think the Gloink Queen's a fun design for sure. I was a little disappointed with the abstracted design, if I'm honest.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it was all that great. I like the idea of like the eyes and the
I
kind
wish
of
it would have
glitchy
changed.
texture.
I wish it would have changed shape and stuff.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, I like the way it
Um,
looked, like the black and with the
Probably,
glitch.
yeah, I like
Glitchiness.
that part.
I wish it would have changed form.
I
I would
didn't
have.
really like the shape of it as much.
Yeah, that was kind
Yeah,
of lame.
but I know why they couldn't really do the shape changing stuff so easily because you know it's 3D, so you'd have to make a model for like all of those different forms, or
Then do it.
it would be a hassle. In 2D, you could probably make it change shape a lot
Make it in
easier
2D.
because each frame you're redrawing everything anyway. So
Yeah.
in 2D you can do that, but in 3D it's gonna be a little more difficult. And Glitch is a 3D studio, so
Okay.
you
Lame.
know. I mean, there are other benefits. You can reuse stuff in 3D, so
Yeah, you can.
you can reuse it a lot more in 3D than you can 2D. Um, yeah, there's one part going back to like the visuals. There was one, so I pointed out the one like visual like character animation that I thought was like really good. This is one I think is not so good. It's the one where she's like pulling her face, Pomnius.
Oh, at
when
the
she
very
first-
beginning when she
yeah,
pulls her eye out.
it's the recoil from that specifically.
Okay.
It's the way like her face like moves from the force of the eye going back in. It just doesn't look right to me. It's like it's
Mm.
too slow or something. Something's off.
I would. I mean, it's completely different. But when she pulling out her eye, I'm like, why are you doing that, man? Like,
Yeah, that was.
like, oh, this is not my body. I'm gonna rip my eyeball out. Like,
I mean, I could.
I understand pulling out the skin.
Like, the eyelid. Yeah, but like the eyeball itself.
Yeah, I was like, that's like not the first thing I
I
would do.
I would probably be really freaked out if I could pull out my eyeball, because that's also
I would be
affecting
maybe
my
trying to take
vision.
off my hat. Like,
Yeah, I could pull out the skin. I could pull. I'll even give the eyelid and stuff. That's fine.
yeah,
In the mouth, but like the eye itself is
I was like, this is kind of
that's
weird.
almost like body horror at that point. You're pulling your eye out of your socket. I know it's just for the funny visual, but like, yeah, I mean, it's not really a big issue. It's just kind of like a, hmm.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
yeah. I just brought it up just because.
Did you like Kane's watch? His wacky watch?
It's a wacky watch.
Yeah, his wacky watch. There's an advertisement for it.
Oh
Yeah. Did you like that?
no,
You
because I don't remember it.
It's
So the
where-
answer is no.
It's where they're at the restaurant, right? And he's like, "Oh, I've got a call on my wacky
Wacky
watch,"
watch.
and then They're like at the bottom of the screen. There's like all the text and stuff, like a
For real,
TV
wacky.
ad. Yeah, and there's a website you can go to, and it was up. I don't know if it's still up anymore, but it was up. It was a real site they had,
Okay.
which was cool.
Do video games normally have ads in them like that? Is that a thing?
No, I think they mostly did it so they could have the website you could go to as like a fun thing, which I do like it when shows and stuff do
Okay.
that. I know the Mario movie when they were advertising, they
Yeah,
had the
the
number you could
yeah
actually call.
call and it would be the Mario
Yeah, and that was
Brothers.
fun. I like it when shows do stuff like that. I'm not sure if it was very well integrated. It just kind of feels kind of like wacky random humor
Yeah.
a little bit. Um, but I mean, it's fine. It's just not the kind of thing I find very funny. What did you think of the exit scene?
Oh, I thought that was like one of the best parts of the whole thing.
Yeah, I like
Just
the
her
exit
going
scene.
crazy. It just humanized her. Like I know I was talking about like
Mhm.
oh she could be an AI, but like it made her feel like a real human, like wanting to go back to some place that she can't remember.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's a hard premise to have like a strong motivation for your character for,
Yeah.
which we touched on earlier. But like, if they could remember what was home,
Yeah.
what
Is she a cancer patient who's about to die
or
and
yeah,
wanted to go into this video game to escape like life,
maybe. I don't know.
and now she wants to get like, huh?
I don't
I
know.
just don't know.
I don't know why she wants to get home so
Yeah.
badly. I mean,
Did she know what it was going to be like in here before she came in here, and she was okay with it? Like, we don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how they're going to go about giving us that information. I don't know if it's
I mean, she put on the headset, so she was clearly expecting to do something. She probably didn't expect to get trapped inside of the video game.
well, I don't
But
know if she like if I willingly was, oh yeah, I'll go into this video game. It looks fun. And then I get there, I don't have my memory of knowing what it was going to be like, and so now I'm freaked out.
yeah,
And so like I can imagine this like, but I don't know how the show is going to organically give us the information if it can.
yeah,
So
it's tricky. It's tricky to give motivation for that. Like, even if it was like a vague sense of like, I feel like there's something important waiting for me.
yeah,
It's like, even if it's not specific, it's like, okay, I want to get back home because there's something waiting for me. Even if I can't remember what it is, I can't remember who it is, but I know there's something that needs me. I gotta
back
get
home.
back. It's like
Yeah,
that could maybe that could work. It's hard because of the amnesia thing, though.
yeah.
That really limits your motivation for like
Well, yeah, that's
why.
not just like and just potential like
Yeah,
going forward. I don't know how they're gonna continue to add to it. So
I mean the why. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to highlight the why of why you want to go home.
yeah,
Which going
or
home
like
is a
or
fine
why you
goal.
wanted to be in the game if you wanted to be in the game in the
Well, they
first
don't have to
place.
talk about that yet.
Yeah,
It's a pilot, but it would be nice if we had a stronger reason of why she wants to go home. Um, Even if it's maybe things like, uh, I want my old body back.
yeah.
It's like, maybe something like that, or I want my old body back. I want to be able to eat food again. I want to be able to like, touch things and feel them again. You know, maybe you could touch into something like that.
What do you think about the game in general? Like, do you think it's set up like a good video game? Like,
Um, I'm not sure.
I don't. I think it's just kind of weird. There's no like. It's just kind of like a free range. Do your
It could
there's no
be
objectives
it could
like.
be like a point and click adventure game.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's the visual style they were taking inspiration from, but as far as like if we're translating it into gameplay, which I don't think we
Yeah.
have to.
It's just kind of odd that like there are apparently knowing going forward like there are like separate games you play, and so
Yeah,
it's just an odd
that was a
setup.
spoiler for
I
episode.
know, I know. It's
Ooh. Okay, guys, just be careful if you don't want to be spoiled for episode 2, which you've probably already seen by
sorry,
now.
I already spoiled like the biggest thing already, or
You
like
did spoil two
20
big
minutes
things,
ago.
but that's okay. um, yeah, I agree. I don't the idea of like having different lands or like different levels, I guess,
Yeah,
isn't really set up in this one. I guess it could be vaguely hinted at with the different doors but like for the most part, they just establish like this is the digital circus. Here's the tent. Here's the water, the lake, the wacky. What is
Yeah,
it called?
and
I can't remember.
I
There's
don't
like
know.
the
But
lake.
it's presented like you can go anywhere. Like nothing's locked or anything. Nothing has to be unlocked or anything like that. Like most video games,
Yeah,
you can't have access to everything all at once.
yeah. There's a lake. There's a
So
carnival. There's the tent, and that's all. That's real. And the void.
yep.
Those are the main things that are introduced. But in the next one, there's like a level added that Kane built. But that's kind of, I guess that's set up because he made the doors
Yep.
and everything. So I mean, it's not anything crazy. But I was just kind of like, huh. I guess we didn't really touch on that in the pilot. When I watched it this time, I was just like, I guess that was a new idea. I didn't
Yeah.
really notice, so I don't think it was a big deal.
Okay. I just think it's odd, like, cause the 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 place your show is taking place is in a video game, and they didn't really establish what kind of game it was or anything like that. So I thought that was kind of
Yeah,
odd.
I'm not really sure. It's supposed to be
I don't
like
think it
an old
needs
computer
to.
game, but I don't think it has to. I agree,
No,
but
I
it
think
would be interesting if it did,
yeah.
because I think that would be another way to utilize the unique setting. But I don't think you have to do that. It's all right.
Yeah, that's
It's
it's okay.
it's the all right digital circus.
It's still
It's okay.
it's false advertising.
I don't think it was that amazing, honestly. It was just okay. Spectacular Spider-Man. More like he's all right.
So Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man. More like I guess that's Spider-Man.
I guess that's default Spider-Man.
Spider NPC, more like it. Spider Sheeple.
What the?
In my new OC for Into the Spider-Verse 3.
Into the Spider-Verse 3. It's beyond the Spider-Verse AGM. Don't you know that?
No, I didn't. I couldn't remember. I'm tired. I'm not witty. Yeah. I mean, I think that's all I have to say about Digital
Yeah,
Circus.
me too.
I mean, I guess. Why do you think it was the one that really took off?
I don't know, man. I really don't. Out of the four we're going to talk about, it's my least favorite. So I don't know.
I would probably agree with that.
It's
It's not bad,
like
but
2D animation, 3D animation. Like I can look at the 2D animated like shorts on YouTube like all day long.
oh yeah.
And Digital Circus doesn't look bad. Like I think it looks great.
Mhm.
It just doesn't. It's just not as drawing to me. Like I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm more of a 2D guy in general than 3D.
You can
but,
just yeah.
like
There are limitations with both, but
oh yeah.
but like there are a lot of advantages to 3D.
Yeah, camera movement, you can
Mhm.
reuse models, things like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like eye candy. 2D is like eye candy. I just if it's good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I really like 2D.
so
So
I've been thinking about. I just don't know why it got so popular.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a large portion of the fan base are kids. Not to say all of them,
Really?
or to say it's a kid's show, or even to say that kids should be watching it.
I was
Uh,
gonna say they have that big joke like
the swearing thing, yeah.
yeah.
But then again, a lot of parents will just let their kids do whatever on YouTube. They don't care. Do you remember the young Princess Leia actress from Kenobi?
Yeah.
She really likes Has Been Hotel.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
She went like to get an autograph of it, and it's like, you're like 8, maybe like or 7. How old are you? You are tiny. Why are you watching that show? You really shouldn't be.
That's crazy.
But you know, I'm not her mom, so. But I would. A lot of people just don't care what their kids watch on YouTube. They don't pay attention.
Um,
But
I just want to put something in perspective here. We haven't talked about Monkey Wrench, but AJM and I we both like Monkey Wrench.
yeah, I really.
You
like
want to
Monkey
guess
Wrench.
how many views episode 1 of Monkey Wrench has?
Is it 1.5 million?
Nope,
Nope.
not a million.
Oh, it's not a million?
It hasn't even gotten to a million. 977,000.
Oh man.
You want to know what the pilot for Digital Circus
Isn't
has?
it like 254 million or
Ha
something?
ha! You're funny. It's 343 million.
Gee whiz, I thought it was.
It's insane. I don't understand it.
I
I
thought if
really
anything,
don't.
I was shooting too high. I didn't think I would miss the mark by 50 million in the other direction. Wow. That's so much.
Yeah, I saw that when
I
last
just,
time I rewatched it, and I just couldn't believe it.
it's got to be the biggest, right?
Oh yeah, not even close.
Like even Has Been Hotel, which was like the first big YouTube pilot to blow up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's
Like
340
at least
some
in
million.
recent memory. It was the first one of this like wave of animators. Like
That's just painful to think about,
that's
in my opinion.
incredible. Like that's so it's a marvelous achievement for a glitch. They should be very happy. But man, I mean maybe it's just because it doesn't click with me. But like
I
I
just
don't
don't
know
understand it.
I don't know how it gets that many. I mean that's insane.
Yeah, that's like I can understand.
I don't remember any YouTube video that I've watched that's been even 100 million views, much less 300.
It's insane.
That's crazy. Wow. I mean, wow.
It's like 10. That's 10 months ago. That's how old this
Oh,
pilot is.
gee whiz, man. And then you compare that to like Long Gone Gulch.
Oh, I
And
know.
that's been out for a few years, right?
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Which-
it has the pilot
which is
for
a
Long Gone Gulch has
bummer.
3.7 million.
It's such a bummer because it's been out for 3 years, and it's like if it's not going by now, like I don't know if it's going to get to, which would suck. I would be so sad.
It's just a travesty in my mind. Long Gone Gulch is just so
It's
much
so
fun.
good. I would love it. It deserves. Like I think it is a high enough quality, super high quality. It should have at least another episode, please, please, guys. Just man, it's such a bummer. I would be so sad if that just got dropped
Yeah.
and didn't happen. That would stink. It's very good, and you know like how many do the other two shows? How many does Lackadaisy have?
Yeah,
and
that's a
Godspeed
good.
have to compare?
So Lackadaisy is 1 year old.
Mhm.
It has 15 million. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
I mean, like Digital Circus is insane numbers. Like
That's insane. Yeah.
that's crazy for like almost any YouTube video.
Godspeed is 8 months old and it has 1.7 million. That's pretty
decent.
good
Yeah, that's decent.
for only being 8 months.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know why it Digital Circus struck a chord with that many people.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
know.
know the word of mouth was good. Maybe part of it's because Glitch was already starting to get because Glitch had a hit before it had Murder Drones.
Yeah.
Murder Drones
More people
pilot
knew
was
about
big.
Murder Drones.
So maybe people had their eyes on Glitch already, and then good word of mouth like spread like crazy. They had a popular creator come on, and she's the showrunner. It's her show. They have Kevin Timmertoons, and he's got an audience. He's got a sizable audience as well. So maybe it's part of that, and then maybe the word of mouth just made it spread like crazy. Maybe it's the comedy. Maybe people really like the comedy. I know it doesn't click for us, but maybe it's really popular with this section of the internet. This 300 million section of
The small corner of the
the
internet.
small corner of the internet filled with 300 million views. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it would be like the humor, maybe a little bit of the dark factor with the visuals and the pre-existing audiences coming over.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mix of those things. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time.
'Cause
I don't have a good answer.
It's not just that it's successful. I mean, like 15 million views
Well, yeah, it's not.
is successful.
It's I've just seen a shocking amount of YouTubers talking about it.
Yeah.
In comparison to like Lackadaisy, like I've never seen any YouTuber like
There
mention
are
it.
people who talk about it.
Okay.
Especially if you follow more of the animation critics and stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure they've mentioned it. I know Saber Sparks, he did some video with it. Um, he's a big animation YouTuber. So I'm sure if you're in like the right circles, you've heard of it. But like, I mean, Digital Circus is like, as soon as you go in this direction, you're probably going to bump into that.
Yeah.
It's just like, why is that the biggest? Is because it's not just successful, it's like incredibly successful.
Yeah.
This is it might be like the biggest animated pilot on YouTube ever. I mean, I can't imagine what would compete. Like maybe Has Been Hotel, maybe. But I don't think even that was as big as this is. Because this is massive. And I don't know. Maybe part of it's because of that pre-existing audience, and there's also people from that audience who are making content about it. You know? Maybe that's part of it, where you've got like the theory videos and stuff coming out that are helping like feed into it. I mean, let's be real, like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
that was a big part of what like elevated that game to like the hyper popularity it experienced, was all the theories and the community around the game, as well as the game itself. So maybe it's that aspect of the mystery that's helping like drive content about the show, keeping conversation going. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I said, I thought about it. I just don't have an answer for why.
I mean, I've thrown out the factors that I think might be part of it, but I don't really have an answer. I just think it's interesting to think about, because
Yeah, I do too.
That is insane. That's insanely successful.
Because like
as far as views go.
I would say those explanations you gave, they might account for a few, like, yeah, they explain a little bit, but do they explain the massive gap? That's the question.
Even like optimistically, like even going like unrealistically optimistic and saying that's 100 million of the views. Where did the other 200 million come from? It's like, because that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Is it just word of mouth? Is it just that powerful? Maybe. I don't know.
The YouTube algorithm's a strong monster.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it saw like a really big boost in success initially, and because of those other factors we've talked about, and maybe that drove it into the algorithm, and that made it spread much further. Maybe YouTube just liked it. Maybe YouTube saw this. Hey, ooh, we can make money from this.
Yeah. Well, you can make money from
a lot of
Monkey
things.
Wrench. I rewatched the pilot for that like 5 times.
That's not to say that like I'm unhappy this show is successful. I think that's a good thing for the for indie animation in general. I'm confused. I'd probably be confused if any of these shows did that well, because
I would.
300 million is just a really big number. I mean, like
340
million is a really big number. I missed it by like 90 million views. Gee whiz. I thought I was overshooting. I don't even know. Maybe like the video at the zoo, like one of the first YouTube videos.
I'm sure.
Maybe that one could compete, but like that's a lot, which I keep repeating. I'm baffled. So, I mean, I'm glad it's doing well, and I hope that Glitch continues to share their success and push the industry forward, because I think that's really something they're trying to do, and that's very admirable of them. I just hope they take the precautions that come with growing so rapidly, because you really got to be careful, because corruption and things like that can creep in really quick, and like abuse of the people you're trying to help out, that can happen really quickly. So hopefully they take safeguards and they're very cautious about that. It's very easy to mess up sudden success.
Oh yeah.
And to make some very big mistakes that hurt a lot of people. So So far, I don't think they've done anything like that, which is good, and I hope they continue to be careful and they continue to do a good job.
Oh yeah, and I mean if they support like the smaller or other like animators too,
Oh
like
yeah,
other shows and giving them a spot to like sell things like in merch and all that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
giving them shows and stuff like that.
I
Like,
love that. That's great.
I mean, Liam Vickers is the guy who did Murder Drones, and that was awesome to see him actually get to make a show.
Yeah.
Super cool to see these creators come together and make things. But you know, YouTube things on YouTube go wrong a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
they do.
even if it's just one person, they tend to go wrong a lot.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Okay.
Or, I mean, with the Mr. Beast stuff going on right now, all those
Oh.
accusations and stuff flying around. Even if he doesn't know about some of the things that have happened,
There's just so much, man.
which I don't know, nothing's been proven about what he knows or doesn't know at this point. But regardless, his company's clearly got some problems with it.
Yeah.
Some big problems.
That's most people just he got too popular too fast and
It's very possible that was
Yeah.
part of it, yeah.
So-
And maybe it just elevated some character flaws
yeah.
that he already had or something like that. But I already mentioned Machinima. I've already mentioned, there are 1,000 YouTubers, probably even more, that we could mention.
Yeah.
That things have not worked out because they got like big success, or eventually things came out about them that were
They're just hiding their true self.
they were just hiding.
You can only rely on the Mr. Rogers of YouTube.
Who would that even be? I know who you mean, but I know it's not true. So who would it really be? I mean,
The guy at the zoo. the guy.
the guy at the zoo, yeah, that guy. He would never have a horrible controversy. He's a good guy. He went to the zoo. He filmed it on his camera. He's a good guy. He would never betray me. Gee whiz, I can't believe you made a boogie joke.
Thought it was well placed.
It was. I wasn't expecting it.
All right, you want to move on to Lackadaisy?
Yeah. Enough about Glitch and their shows. We're gonna move on. So, Lackadaisy. Here we are again. Spoiler time.
Spoiler time.
Spoiler time.
So what were we gonna say about the intro segment? Were you gonna talk about it a little bit more?
I was gonna say I don't really know what substance it had
Okay.
to the show. I knew it was about Mississippi.
Yeah.
About how Rocky feels about Mississippi.
Yeah.
Maybe the state, maybe the river.
I'm pretty sure it's a river, but okay, I could
Probably the river.
extend it to the state, I guess.
Probably the river. And I'm not sure really what else it was trying to say about his character or his views on things, other than like he's very theatrical.
Yes,
That's established. He's very theatrical, and Mississippi.
in Mississippi. I know. I'm like, okay, so he really likes this freaking river. Okay.
Maybe this is just a me thing where or maybe it's just an us thing, because I think you mentioned you didn't really understand it either.
No, I mean,
Maybe
I understood the words, like,
Yeah,
but I just
didn't-
don't understand if the poem is supposed to be underlying like a subtext for his
Yeah.
motivations. I'm just not getting it.
Yeah,
So-
I don't understand how it really relates to the broader show.
Yeah.
It feels just kind of like a poem with
Yeah.
big flowery language.
And as far as poems go, there's no better delivery of a poem than dropping dynamite off of a bulldozer while reciting poetry that you're just making up while you're getting shot at and not
Yeah.
taking any cover.
Yeah. He was not making smart decisions, but
No, but again, I was like, man, this guy's just crazy. So just go for it,
Yeah.
man. That's what my attitude was. I'm like, yeah, he's.
yeah, maybe there's a little bit of plot armor, but I don't think it was too bad. That was okay.
What about the bad guys laughing at getting shot at? Like,
They seem to have fun with their jobs. I
yeah,
think that's in character. So
I see. Like, I would be like, you're excited that you're shooting them. I can
not so
understand.
excited that they're shooting
Yeah,
back.
I would. That would escalate the stakes really.
Yeah,
So
I mean, but you know, it's their character. Maybe they're just like adrenaline junkies and they really like the whole thing. They like the whole experience of it.
yeah.
It
All
seems
right.
like they're very experienced and they enjoy this thing.
I will
This type of
say
thing.
I think the pilot does a pretty good job of just okay, these are the bad guys, and it begs the question of like the backstory of like why they're chasing these people, why there's a rivalry here,
I mean, they're
who the big bad is, who's
well, that's already answered at the end of the pilot
oh
after the
really
credits. Yeah. Did you not see the post credit scene?
after the credits?
Yeah,
No,
the post credit scene.
I did not
They're
watch
just
the
working.
post.
They're working for a rival, Moonshine, or what? I don't know what the word is for the like the prohibition breakers, the alcohol runners.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the whiskey smugglers.
Whiskey smugglers.
I don't know. But there's a rival gang that's like also bringing in alcohol and stuff, and they're the funeral home is one of their suppliers, and they're two timing them.
Okay.
That's why they were there
Gotcha.
because they were being two timed by the funeral home.
Okay.
So they were
Interesting. I did
put a stop to that.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, it's at the very end. It's also established at the end that they're going to keep pursuing Lackadaisy because they're making too much noise. You know, they're causing too much. They're drawing too much attention, and the federal agents are in town.
Oh, okay.
So it does establish at the. I'm not sure if that should have been a post-credit scene.
I'm not a huge fan of post-credit scenes in shows.
Yeah, and that's pretty important information.
Yeah, because you said that.
Right.
Although it's established, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did I just like zone out in like the end of the show?
It would have been kind of tricky to because they have like this nice transition from the ending of the episode to the credits with the music and stuff. So putting it in would break that transition. So I can understand why you wouldn't want to do that, but I do think the information is really important for like the series, establishing the antagonists and what's going on and why they're targeting Lackadaisy. You know, it's information that the viewer should have since it's being established. It's not something you really want people to just miss, which is unfortunately what can happen if it's a post-credit scene because you see the credits, you could just turn off the show.
That's exactly what I did.
Yep. And that's how it's been for a long time. So I don't blame you. But
I'm trying to think, is there another show that has like a
I'm sure somebody's done it. I'm sure the Marvel shows probably do it. They've probably done it at least once or twice.
That's true. I'm sure they have.
But I'm not crazy about it. I'm not really crazy about post-credit scenes. At least not being important. Like
yeah, if they're not important, that's okay.
Yeah, if they're supplemental, like a gag or something, like the shawarma gag.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
I mean, it's
top tier.
What everybody thinks about because it's one of the best ones. So it's good. It's completely supplemental. Even the part where Thanos goes, "Fine, I'll do it myself." I mean, even that's kind of supplemental. It's just like, hey, there's a bad guy.
He's different kind of purple.
Yeah, but I mean, this one, Lackadaisy's in credit scene has a lot of
actually important stuff.
That you need to know, at least for the context going forward. I'm sure it'll be reestablished at some point, but if you're going to introduce it, I don't think that's something you want people to miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also understand why it would be kind of difficult to put it in there. Yeah, to stick it in because the credits have, you know, the upbeat like theme go on, and then to have the dark scene where they're like, okay, we gotta kill these people, and then go to the upbeat electro swing would be maybe a little jarring.
Yeah.
Maybe not the note you want to end on, but you know, I can understand the conflict there.
I guess I do get that.
But
I was shocked when you said that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, and it's important information, so I think it would have been a pretty nice if they included it.
Yeah.
In the show proper rather than at the end of the credits.
Yeah. But as a pilot goes, I think Lackadaisy is pretty top tier. Like as far as
I think it's
introducing
decent.
the characters.
I think it's decent. I think maybe as far I don't have like a really strong overarching motivation for Rocky, which I would have liked to have.
Okay.
Um, compare that to like Long Gone Gulch. It's like
Yeah,
there's really
super
strong
strong.
character motivation. Even in Godspeed is not quite as strong, but it's still pretty solid. Like you know what she wants, you know what she's working towards over the series.
Hmm.
In this one, I don't really know exactly what Rocky's working towards. Is he just trying to find?
We don't know the motivation behind it, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, we don't know his
Yeah.
motivation really. Like we know why what he's doing like externally.
Yes.
Yeah, we know his external actions. He's getting alcohol. He's
He's got a job.
he's
He's
got a
doing it.
job. He's doing it. He's getting alcohol. He's smuggling it in. But you know, like, why is he doing that? Is it just a job for him? Is it just money? Is that it? Or is I mean, it probably isn't because it doesn't seem like he really gets paid super well. Um, because they don't seem Lackadaisy as a group doesn't seem to be like super um
Got a pretty crappy car.
wealthy. Yeah, they don't seem to be doing so well right now. Um, but like what's her name? Is it Mitzi?
I'm not
The
sure.
It's the lady who owns
Head that, yeah, I know
the
who you're
club,
talking
yeah. The boss, the head honcho. Yeah, it's her. She has a stronger motivation. She's probably one of the only characters where it's like very clear established motivation as far as the Lackadaisy crew. Where it's like, okay, she used to have this big empire of alcohol, which is just kind of funny the way to say it. But she had used to like run the town with her husband, and now he's gone, and now she's kind of broke. Things are not going well, so she wants to reclaim what she lost and reestablish um, her empire. You know, I mean, empire makes it sound a little
Empire of
sinister.
alcohol.
Her empire of alcohol. Palpatine is drunk. he's not doing so well. Darth
He
Vader.
died again.
Darth Vader comes in and his suit is made out of Bud Light cans.
What?
It's the empire of alcohol. He's not doing so well. um yeah. Yeah, I mean her motivation's a little more clear. Um but Rocky's I don't really know why he's involved in this and why he's doing it. Actually,
He likes the adrenaline rush. He likes it helps him with his poetry.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's
He's looking for inspiration for his poems. He wants to make them more real, more visceral, more good.
he gets home. Well, what'd you do today? Oh, I came up with some sick lines while throwing my dynamite off a bulldozer while getting shot at. Oh, okay. It was a nice poem, I swear.
No, it's really good. It's really good. Please, you gotta listen to it. I don't really like poetry. No, you gotta hear me out. No, I'm not even a character in the show. I'm a straw man, Rocky. I'm not real. Yeah,
You've had too much alcohol.
You're talking to a figment, a fake person. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I really didn't connect with them so much. Because I just don't really know why he's doing what he's doing. I don't know why I should care as much about why does this matter to him, you know? And you could easily establish something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you should establish something like that in a pilot. I think it's important, or at least useful, for getting people invested.
Yeah.
I know it would have helped me.
I don't know. I guess I didn't. Since he obviously, and I guess I just assume he has a motivation, and that would come later. But
Yeah,
and just seeing him
I'm sure
go full force.
I'm sure he has one. I just wish it was that something for it was established.
Communicated to the
yeah,
audience.
even if it's not an explicit of like, his dad loves beer and he wants to be, he would be just like his old man. Even if it wasn't as explicit as that, and hopefully it would be better than that. I would be happy even if it was just something like, oh, he's doing this because like maybe he wants to get like approval, or he's looking for like belonging, or even if it's something kind of broad or vague.
Or Big Honcho Kitty Cat.
Yeah.
Her husband was like a father figure to him.
Yeah,
or maybe something. He owes it to her or something.
Yeah, because I saw there was a teaser trailer for season 1 of Lackadaisy, and I think that did a better job of making me invested in Rocky as a character than the pilot did.
Really? Okay.
And that's like a minute long, or 2 minutes long.
Dang.
Because it just shows him, like, he's going over to like the big city. He's like hitchhiking. He's on a train. He gets kicked off. He's not doing. He gets in a car, he gets thrown out. He's on a train, he stumbles off into like some like wire or something like that. So he's kind of clumsy. He's not really got a place to stay. Ends up with him like busking on the street, playing his violin, and then the head honcho, which isn't her name, I promise. She's got a name, I just can't remember. There are a lot of new names in these pilots. I think it's Mitzi.
Mitzi.
I think. Could be totally wrong. Just watch me. I'm very good at it. But she comes along and she's like, that's some very nice music. What else do you know how to play? And he smiles and it's just like, oh, okay. I don't know. I found that a little more endearing than the pilot itself. Not to say that reveals his motivation or anything, but it tells me a little bit about his. I was right. Yes,
it is Mitzi.
I did it. I can remember other names too. I know the bartender name is Victor.
Yep.
And then
I knew Victor.
The business cat, his name is Sable.
I didn't remember Sable.
It might be his last name. Might be his last name because it's the same name as the quarry. It was his quarry. I don't know if you caught that.
No.
Did you catch that?
Nope.
That's why he's asking about the dynamite, where he says, "What
dynamite?"
Oh,
gotcha.
More about this dynamite, because it's.
I did like his character. I like his character a lot.
I liked his character. I think that this could definitely go some like really cool places. I think the characters are. Like, there's enough to go like, oh, I could see how this could develop into like a character I could really enjoy.
Absolutely.
I think my favorite two were Rocky's friends. He called the one Tickle, or no, Freckles, and that's not his name. I'm sure that's not his name. And the other one was nicknamed Pepper, but her name is Ivy. I remember that from the credits. I can't remember the little tiger guy's name. Oh, okay. His nickname is like full on. Okay. Oh, Pepper is her last name. Ah, I see. Okay.
Ivy Pepper. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah. All right. So I like those two. I like their dynamic. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know why I said cute that way. Cute.
Because they're cats.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really like cats very much. But, I didn't hold it against the show. Don't worry. I like their dynamic. I thought they were cute.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You said cute the same way.
I keep saying it that way. I guess it's just a weird day for me. I don't know. But they had some nice little like crush moments and stuff, and that was sweet. That was like wholesome.
I thought the scene where he was telling her to hide and he was trying to distract the henchman, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like the chase part. I think that's
the car chase.
Yeah, like as soon as the bad guys come in, I think
it starts getting good. Yeah,
I think that whole section with the villains chasing them is like really, really entertaining. It's really fun.
Are they villains though?
Well, I mean, antagonists. whatever. You know, they're trying to kill him. Who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah, I know. They're
Whatever.
breaking the law themselves.
Yeah.
They're also trying to kill other people. Yeah, I call him a villain.
Yeah, they're the villain in the story. They're going after the hero. They want to kill him. That's villainous enough for me.
Did you like the bad guy just dramatically like holding the pistol, like
I thought that was cool. I
several
thought it was
times?
a cool contrast between him and the other henchmen, where
Who were super like
he's
easy to pull the trigger,
right.
super
They're
trigger happy.
trigger
Yeah.
happy, and they're just all about the rush and just going
Yeah.
for it.
Which is kind of what Rocky is too,
Yeah, kind
So,
of.
just
Um,
in some extent.
just
so.
not as much as they are,
Yeah.
because he actually like fears for his life way more. But but he's a lot more into the action than his friends are,
Yes,
than Pepper and Freckle or Ivy and Calvin.
I don't remember Calvin ever being used.
I don't remember Calvin being used either.
But that was his name.
That's his name, but his nickname's official. Like it's
Freckle,
in
yeah.
yeah. It's in the one quotes. I don't remember what those are called at the moment. But
Hmm.
instead of two quotation mark, like two little quotes,
It's one.
It's
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yep.
Which was probably self-explanatory. I'm tired. Just that's my excuse. I'm gonna
Anything else
stick
about
to it.
Lackadaisy? I pretty much I talked about all the major things I
really
wanna
like the
talk about.
music, especially during the car chase.
Okay, I
Like,
can't remember
When
music
the
as much.
I really like the music when Freckle brings out the gun. I thought that was
Okay.
I really like that.
I like the music at the end. I don't remember the music during the chase.
You like the end
particular.
credits?
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I thought
Yeah,
it was
that's
pretty good.
I like the chase music. I think you should give it a listen.
Okay.
If you want to, you know. What did you think of Mordecai as a villain? He's the calm, collected one.
Pretty intimidating. I liked the contrast between him and the other. Well, all between him and all the other characters, really.
Oh yeah.
So,
What did you think of the moment where he doesn't shoot? Do you not remember?
I no, I definitely
Okay,
remember it. I
gotcha.
just remember I just remember thinking like, oh, like there's probably a reason why he didn't shoot.
I thought
Like,
that was intriguing.
I was really interested. I was watching it and I was like, well, why didn't he shoot? And then I was thinking, oh, there's probably some subtext to this.
I think Lackadaisy's doing, like, the pilot does a really good job at like hinting at these these relationships
Mhm.
that you don't really know about. Like I think the lady villain, I don't know her name. I'm out of names now.
Yeah.
But I think she hints out like you're not getting like sentimental about your old friends or something like that, right? So it's like, oh, he's got a connection with Lackadaisy in the
Oh, okay.
past or something like that. Or Victor, his reactions to Ivy are pretty like aggressive or like intense. Even when he sees her go off with Freckle, he seems kind of mad about it. So it's like, oh gee, I wonder if he's like related to Freckle in a way, or maybe he's like related to Ivy in a way or something. There's some kind of connection there that I don't know about yet, and I'm curious about it.
Yeah, that was a moment that I thought about after the episode. I was thinking, I'm like, well, why didn't he just like why wouldn't he just shoot? Because every other character seems to be led by their emotions like so aggressively, and then for some reason he's more in control, and there's a lot more thought behind his decisions.
He seems more like a cold like hitman.
Yeah.
Sort of guy. Yeah.
So I after I finished the episode, I was thinking about it. I'm like, that was interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
okay.
I was just it was just something to think about.
I was just gonna
fact.
say there's a joke about that in the end credit scene where he's calling for a ride from his boss, and his boss is just like, you're calling me for a ride. You're like this famous hitman and you're calling me for a ride. Like, the delivery is much better in the show, but
Okay.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I'll have to rewatch the after credit scene.
Yeah, you'll have to
Or
just
give it a
watch.
not rewatch it, just watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued as to where it could go. I think
Okay.
if it got like a full season, which I think it has pretty good odds of doing, especially since they're getting like marketing help from Glitch, and
Hmm.
Glitch, they seem to know how to do that pretty well. Um,
Apparently.
I mean,
Well, I mean, Lackadaisy has 15 million. That's pretty good.
oh yeah,
So,
I mean they've got a sizable audience, and now it's just about getting like the support from the audience to make the show, so like they can fund it. You
mhm.
know, it's converting that like verbal support into financial support that they're going to have to do, but they're getting help with that, and so I think they've got pretty good odds of getting a full season done. So I will probably watch it if it comes out because I am intrigued. Um, I want to be clear. I mean, I'm kind of sounded harsh on the show in the non-spoiler section. Maybe a little too harsh, but
I don't remember that.
okay. Maybe I'm misremembering how harsh I was, but I would be clear. I do like this. I think it's good.
Yeah, I do like
Um,
Lackadaisy.
you mentioned the construction lines, which is something I wanted to ask you about. So you like the construction lines,
The construction lines.
the like the sketches?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm like,
Okay.
construction
Yeah,
lines. Okay.
that was an intentional choice they made. And when I first watched the show, I didn't know that it was an intentional choice. So I was like, man, this is sloppy. Which it makes much more sense now that I know it's intentional. Because
I didn't know if it was intentional or
yeah,
not. If for me who doesn't know how to draw very much, every time I saw it, I was like, man, it's just
it's
I really
yeah,
interesting to look at.
it's intentional. They wanted to draw back to some of like the hand drawn, like pencil and paper stuff,
Hmm.
right? Where sometimes you could see some of the construction lines go through.
Yeah.
So they were trying to harken back to that, which I didn't realize at first. So I thought it was an error, and so I was very confused. But then I found it was intentional. I was like, oh, okay. Um,
That makes it okay
yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, sometimes I will say I found it a little distracting, but I don't think it's really a problem
Well,
in
that's
general.
like it was very noticeable to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's a problem. I just, so there were a couple points where I was like, that's what I was focusing on when I didn't really want to be focused. I wanted to focus on the whole picture,
okay.
you know? Um, but that's not really like an objective thing. That's just more like my reaction to it.
Okay. Yeah, my reaction to it was, "Oh my goodness, this is so cool!" Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna diss it for that. I think it's okay to do that. I think
so
I understand why they would make that choice.
okay, yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I
Yeah.
never, I'm trying to think. I can't think of a different animated.
101 Dalmatians is very sketchy.
Okay,
It's way sketchier than this, but that's one where you can see like construction lines and stuff
okay,
here and there through it. But that was very intentional with 101 Dalmatians, but not necessarily for a stylistic reason. Um, that was I think that was more of like a budgetary thing.
budgetary thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I've never seen the original 101
You
Dalmatians.
haven't?
Nope, never have.
You should watch it. It's cool.
I should.
It's got a unique style. It's very sketchy.
I know the Cruella de
Fun.
Vil song. I know that
Yeah.
part.
I mean, of course you do. Like, it'd be weird if you didn't, honestly. So, wait, have you seen other 101 Dalmatians? Because you said you hadn't seen the original.
Okay, okay.
Have you seen the live action one?
I have seen part of a live action.
Okay,
I think
part of it. Okay.
I don't know if it was a sequel or not. I just know the
Cruella.
Cruella was getting out of prison.
Oh, that's 102 Dalmatians.
102
Yeah.
Dalmatians. Okay, I've seen the beginning of that movie.
Okay.
I remember the line she says, "Now this time we're gonna steal 102." Like I remember that line specifically.
Well, what if they don't have 102, Cruella? What if they died? What if the puppies didn't make it?
You were in prison for a long time.
What if they didn't have any more? Maybe that was the only batch. I mean, 101, like, that's a lot of dogs for one litter. Like, I don't know if the mom's okay. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I've never seen the original, but it's definitely on a. I keep my eye out for every time at any retail stores.
Gotcha.
So
It's on your watch list.
oh yeah,
Okay.
I've got a very long watch list. I've
Yeah.
got like a super long I need to buy at all cost list. I have a begging studios to make a Blu-ray copy of the list. I have a lot of lists of movies.
Yeah. um so bring it back to like the sketchy style. 101 Dalmatians is like one of the biggest examples, but that kind of sketchiness continued for a notable amount of time.
Okay.
Like Jungle Book is kind of sketchy in
Okay.
some places. Not that way, but you know, in like literal pencil sketches.
It's a little sketchy.
It's a little sketchy.
Mowgli's wearing a diaper the whole
That's
time.
kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this Shere Khan guy. I don't know. I mean, his name could be very literal. It's a Shere Khan.
This
Like,
young girl's kind of seductive. This is like cuties. I don't know.
whoa. Gee whiz. I hope nobody ever makes that argument. Oh, that would be awful. Gee whiz. Why'd you have to remind me cuties existed? Oh, that's disgusting. All right.
I do like Jungle Book though. I really like its style.
Yeah,
the
Jungle
way
Book's
it's animated. So
yeah, and that's one that's a little more sketchy. So
okay.
you might catch. I'm not sure if it has straight up construction lines, but it is sketchier in art style.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about Lackadaisy. That I think I've covered everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So
2 thumbs up this time.
I think it's good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And the next one was Long Gone Gulch.
I mean, this is my favorite.
I know, both of us have already said is our favorite.
I really like the character designs. Mako, I really like his design.
His switchblade, which is just a go.
No, that's you're thinking of
Mako. So Mako's the
the shark.
Villain. Okay.
Yeah, Mako's the shark.
Gotcha.
Gee whiz, what is the greaser's name? Is it Scrag or something? It's like SC and it ends with a G.
Man, you are like super specific with the names.
SC and there's an A and a G, and I'm not sure. It's something like that. You can just cut out the
Snag.
Snag, that's what. Okay, that's
Snag.
it. Not Scrag.
Snag.
SNAG. All right.
Snag.
Snag. Yeah. No, I was talking about Mako.
Mako.
Yeah. I was gonna start with the smaller characters and work my way up, but
Okay.
That's all right. I'm just gonna compliment each one, each one individually, because I really like them.
Yeah, I really like Mako. Like,
Mako's got a good design.
when he's smiling, look at
Dude, and his voice matches his design.
Oh, yeah.
well. It's such a good fit. I love the way they like play with his teeth and the way like
Oh yeah,
smiles
that's like when he smiles, like his face is like completely
Yeah.
open, and you can see all of his
his
like
teeth and like the way they'll exaggerate them
Yeah.
to accentuate like certain emotions or words and stuff. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And his tiny little mustache.
I love the henchmen, how evil they look, like
Dude.
how small and like rough they look.
I like the eel guy. He's my
Yeah.
guy. Out of the henchmen, I like him a lot. And the way they make use of his like body being like he's an eel, so they make use of that, and so he coils around him, Snag, later. And yeah, that's a good shot.
This is one of my
Yeah, and
favorites.
he's got a boot on. He's got a boot on his tail.
I know.
And he
The
got
boot on
these
the tail.
Big wacky eye. I love him. He's great.
The boot on the tail is so
The
good.
boot on the
man. I
tail
love
is
it.
really funny. I love him. He's great. I love you.
I think the teeth for all of them, man, like they're used so well.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're very expressive with the teeth, and they're unique, and they're not like pretty much. I don't think like anybody has straight teeth in this show, pretty much. So, which is cool. I just really love the art style and the way the characters are designed.
It's just obvious that every character was designed like specifically like with a lot of intention behind them. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're very intentional designs. Especially like the main characters, of course, but like even the background characters who are just there for a like there's a mummy lady in the saloon
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she's taking sand shots. She's
What?
yeah. Did you
Oh,
not
I did
see
not
that?
see
So
that.
there's yeah. She's just it's as they're first panning through the saloon. She's just got like a cup and it gets filled with sand and she just knocks it
Oh,
back.
that's hilarious. I
Yeah.
saw her. I
Yeah,
I
and
saw
she
the.
comes back later in the episode
Hmm.
where she gets unraveled. So they also like they reuse the characters in the background sometimes to for other gags. Like they didn't have to bring her back, and like but they did, and so she's got like two jokes, and that's great. She's just like a one-off character in the background, and they incorporate her into the action, which is awesome. They don't forget about her, so it's really cool. It's fun. Um, they also do that. I really like how they tie in the guy, the singer who gets transformed into the like sandworm,
Yeah,
the massive
they use
sandworm.
him a couple times
Yeah, he becomes like a big part of the episode where they could have just had him be like the one-off gag where he turns into this massive sandworm,
and
wrecks the
leaves.
mayor's, like destroys the mayor, and then he leaves. But he comes back and it's incorporated into the plot
Yep, yep.
as like part of the finale, which is it's really good. It's one of those things where um sometimes shows would just forget about that. So when you people like bring it back in, it's like a it's just a really cool way to tie everything together. I thought that was awesome.
Yep.
And I like the design of the sandworm too. He's cool.
The only the kind of rival to Rawhide,
BW.
BW.
Yeah,
That's her name.
BW.
I didn't like her voice actor very much. The delivery wasn't very passionate. Her attitude did not fit
Yeah.
anyone else's
Well, I
in the
mean,
show.
to a degree that's intentional. She's clearly supposed to be much more like what's the word? Apathetic?
Yeah, yeah. It just didn't. It didn't fit the tone of the whole show, and so that's the only part of the show I would have changed.
I can kind of understand that. It didn't really bother me. But I do she is definitely different than the rest of the cast. And I think that's intentional, but maybe you could argue that it shouldn't be quite as drastic. Maybe you could play up the fact that she's monotone. Like you could play that up to like a more extreme degree to make her fit in, but also
Well, yeah,
contrast.
all of her lines were flat to me. None of them were exaggerated in any way.
And
So,
again, I think that was intentional, but like maybe you could argue that you should go even further and have her be like completely monotone,
hmm.
and so it's to like a comedic degree. Maybe
I don't know.
I'm
I
just
don't. I don't. I
offering
don't know
ideas.
how I would have
It didn't really
changed it.
it didn't really bother me, but you know, I still want to like if we're throwing around ideas to workshop that solution for a problem you had, then I do want to like go okay from the creator's perspective. This is something they were intending on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if it's too much, how do we change it in a way where it's not like too much of contrast, but it still honors their intentions, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I like her character. Like she's like very integral.
oh
Like,
yeah,
and I'm sure like going forward she'll be like important to the story and everything.
I hope.
But
I hope there is a going forward.
oh yeah.
I really want this show to keep going, man. I want it to get its season. At least a season.
At least a
but
season. It's great, man.
it's so good. I'm so surprised that like a network hasn't tried to pick it up or something. Like I don't know why. Maybe the creators don't want that. Maybe they want it to stay indie. But I don't know. Either way, I really hope they succeed. But yeah,
In a world where someone thought Has Been Hotel was good enough to promote, like, gosh, Long Gone Gulch has got to be worth double that.
Yeah, I don't like Has Been Hotel very much, but I mean, I'm kind of biased against it anyway. Anyways, but
It's just bad. The pilot is garbage.
I don't
So
like what it's going for, really. I don't like what its values so much, but I don't really like its execution either. So separating myself from the moral things and stuff, just like I don't really like what it's doing.
well, first off, it offended
Like,
me.
in
Also, the world
execution.
building is atrocious.
Yeah,
So
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's good.
no, it's not funny at all.
Yeah, they swear, haha. Have you ever worked in a warehouse? They swear there too. It's not funny. It just is. It's just a
It
thing
just
that,
is. It's a reality.
yeah, people swear. It's not funny. Get over it. Just, yeah, that happens. Okay. Anyways, we don't need to talk about that show because
Yeah.
neither one of us like
It
that
just makes
show.
me mad that that has a season and
It got picked up by Amazon, but I mean, like, it makes sense. It has a very distinct visual style. It has a unique premise. It got very
Long Gone
popular.
Gulch has a unique style.
Yeah,
It's better.
it's good.
It's good. It has quality.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like Has Been Hotel. Yeah. I like this show.
I like Long Gone Gulch.
I like Long Gone Gulch. I'm a Long Gone Gulch fan. I'm on board. I'm ready to go. Anyways, where were we talking about it? Uh we were still talking about the character designs, kind of, I guess.
Kinda, yeah.
Kind of. I really like the mayor.
Oh,
How
I
small
know.
he is, and
I know.
he's
He's a jack. Oh, as
a
soon as
jackalope.
as
Yeah.
soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, he's a jackalope. That's awesome."
I love his voice actors' deliveries.
Mhm.
Like, oh, they're so funny. I didn't sign up for any of this back talking sass either. Something like that. That was so much.
Oh, you got muggy boots all over my brain.
I really like him. His voice actor did a really good job. I think the voice acting in the show in general is very good.
Oh yeah.
Super expressive, and it matches the characters, which is something that I have. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine sometimes. Where
I guess going back to Digital Circus, that it does a lot of the voice acting doesn't match as well.
do you mean as far as like casting, or do you mean in terms of like the delivery not matching
the delivery does
animation?
not match the animation and the
Okay.
designs of the characters even, I would say.
Okay, that designs is more of a casting thing, I would think. So that's more about like the voice itself not matching, or the delivery. I mean, I guess, but maybe that's a direction thing then. But I would think it's more of a casting or direction
Yeah,
issue
I guess it would be
than-
more of a delivery thing then, because I mean, like pretty much every line in Long Gone Gulch, I'm like that matches that character perfectly.
Oh yeah,
Like
I think the voice actors are well cast and they do a good job performing. I think they do a pretty good job performing. They're pretty fun. um, the animation is so expressive too. Like the mayor is so expressive, and all the way, like when he emphasizes words and the way he's animated to match that, it's great.
you like when he like kicks down the door of the saloon.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It was great. So funny. Yeah, I really like that. There's tons of lines between like Snag and Rawhide where their delivery
Yeah.
and their animation just sync up so well. Like they complement each other.
They're, like flinging each other around.
Dude.
Like, let's go rubber nose in the sheriff's office.
And they
sheriff's
they
face.
do like they swing each other by the arms, and then Snag just throws her into the window. And that comes back where she asks Snag for uppies, like for ups, and so he throws her up through the roof at the climax
for the fight. Yeah,
Yeah, so it comes back too, which is super.
it's so
cool.
good.
They're very good about like tying like the visual gags, like bringing them back. They don't just forget about stuff. They like tie it in, which is
Mhm.
awesome. I just love the character designs so much too. I keep going back to that, but like Rawhide and Snag's designs, so good. So good, man. I love them so much.
Yeah.
Like Snag being a greaser is really fun choice.
It's hilarious.
It's a really fun choice because he's from the city. It's a really fun way to like emphasize that, and it's very different because you wouldn't normally see a greaser in a western
in
setting.
a western setting.
So it's really fun, and it fits his personality and attitude so well. I really like him. I really like him. He's great.
Yeah, I don't have almost anything bad to say about this pilot.
Yeah,
So
I'm a really big fan.
yeah, and again, just by like what a pilot is supposed to do, it like does it perfectly.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it establishes like the motivation of the character.
hmm
At least, I mean, Rawhide's motivation, and she's the one who her motivation should be like established to some degree
yep,
in the pilot. It's set up really well.
hmm
It's really simple and effective. Where it's like, oh, her dad was the sheriff, so like being a sheriff is really important to her because that's what her dad did, and he's dead,
yep.
and so
Well, and apparently the town goes through sheriffs quite a bit.
yeah,
So.
yeah. So it makes sense why she's so
Well, the
attached.
entire first episode, like, I wouldn't say it's an arc for her, but she goes on like an adventure, like just doubling down on her motivations, like, and her determination to be a sheriff. So
Yeah, it directly
it's
threatens her goal,
yeah, it's
which is
yeah,
a good way to establish it. Is
yeah.
to have the first episode threaten the goal she has of being the sheriff, becoming a great sheriff, and following in her dad's footsteps. It's a really
Yeah.
good way to naturally integrate that into the pilot, so you don't have it doesn't feel like it's forced or anything like that. It's just it flows right along with the story. Um, Sorry, I was just thinking. I thought it was really funny how Mako, because they interrupted his birthday party in the beginning,
Yeah.
he's like, "Now every day is my birthday."
dude, they're all the jokes are so good.
It's so funny.
When he's like, "It's it's your birthday," and like you're singing, and then they come out of the cake and everything.
Yeah, there's just this big eye and a fish, and it's like, what is that? And then the fist comes out. It's a really good introduction to the characters.
He shoots the harpoon at Rawhide, and Rawhide uses her oh my gosh,
Her slingshot.
slingshot
Yeah.
to like bounce it back, and it hits him like on the back side of it. Hits him on the back.
It's pretty good.
Back side of the harpoon.
And I love Snag's weapons, a comb.
And he
drawn
throws
at-
it, yeah,
Yeah.
like a boomerang.
You can throw it like a boomerang. You can use it like a knife and hack
Yeah.
people. As soon as
Mako
he's-
even used it as a knife to like intimidate him
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, man. And dude, when he's gonna like touch his mustache and then that makes Snag go berserk.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks kind of like a chimp with its like teeth. Did you notice?
No.
Okay. It's got like the just the way he screams, it reminded me of like a monkey. So he's going ape wild. He's I just thought it was a neat way to like visually play
Visually
that
show it.
kind of behavior out, which I thought it was really fun visual. It's really funny. It's so good. It's so good.
Everyone should go watch the show.
Yeah. I mean, if you're this far into it, yeah.
I mean, I would like if every joke was spoiled for me, and then I went and watched it for the first time, I would still laugh at
Yeah.
everything. Like it's that funny. It's
Absolutely.
good comedy should be able to perform.
It's a very funny show. It's like I've seen this before. I rewatched it for the episode.
Yep.
And the jokes still land. Like it's good humor, so it lasts.
Mhm.
Which sometimes good humor, you know, I think that's a good sign of quality in comedy, is when it lasts, when you can rewatch it and it's still funny. I think Frasier's like the funniest show I've ever seen. I've rewatched those episodes a lot of times and they're still funny like every time I watch them. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't seen things like a lot of Family Guy, but a lot of the jokes that people say, well, I've heard people say that's one of the funniest shows out there, and it might be funny the first time watching it, but man, like, it's painful on a rewatch.
yeah,
I'm sure.
I don't think people usually rewatch like comedy shows like that.
But I mean,
Those kinds of shows, because those ones have like still have
Yeah.
new episodes coming out,
But-
and they last forever.
yeah, but and I'll admit, like, I dog on Scooby-Doo content, but a lot of Scooby-Doo jokes are, like, pretty clever,
Yeah,
and it actually holds up on rewatches. So
it's one of those reasons I don't really like random humor very much, is because it doesn't hold up.
Mhm.
Usually, random humor it's purely relying on the surprise, like the fact that you're not expecting them to say that or do that, which works the first time, maybe even the second time, maybe even the third time, but eventually, it's gonna happen, and then there's no joke left because the joke is the surprise, the joke is the shock, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some shock humor can be good if it's
Sometimes,
like
yeah.
I'm thinking of Over the Garden Wall has a lot of like Greg just throwing his pennies in and just saying I've got no sense at all.
Yeah.
Like there's no why.
I mean, I would argue that's character humor though, because it's
yeah.
motivated by the character.
It's just like I'll rewatch Over the Garden Wall every year till I die, man. It's hilarious.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So, but like random humor, for me, what random humor is, it's not like character based. It's just purely like it's the weed eater thing from VeggieTales.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it's like, what is 2 + 2? Weed eater. And that's the joke. Might be funny the first time.
Not funny the second time.
But it's not funny the second time. The reason why Weed Eater is funny in VeggieTales is because it's a joke about how
comedy is randomly generated.
How randomly generated comedy doesn't really work in the long run. And it's also a joke that's predicting like the future of comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were kind of right. So, especially about internet humor, because that's a big part of internet humor is just random comedy. So, but Long Gone Gulch's jokes I think they're a lot better than just surprise.
Yeah.
So, I like the comedy a lot, and I like the character a lot. I think there's a lot of heart, even though it's very lighthearted. You can really sympathize with Rawhide as a character, and Snag too, because he wants to be there for his friend, but he's got a different attitude about it because he's got different experiences. He's used to messing up. He's used to things not going his way, so he just doesn't hold on to it. It doesn't let it bother him. So like even though he wants to be a good friend, he's not really connecting with her the way she is. So
his motivations aren't exactly the same.
Yeah,
so,
his character's different. His past is different. His outlook's different, and so that's kind of causing a disconnect between him and Rawhide as friends.
I just got the image of them swinging around each other, flinging her into the window.
It's great.
Oh man,
I love the way they start just immediately are like talking to the sheriff, the mayor, recapping everything they've done, and Snag like dragging in through the table,
comb through the table.
Yeah,
the mayor's face just tweaking out.
It's really funny. They're good. They're good. Oh man. Did you like the joke where I forget his name? It was like Mr. Prickly or something like that. It's the cactus guy who
when he swirls around on the
where it cuts to him on.
I did like that. I thought that was pretty good.
Funny.
I thought the mayor's like, "You're not sheriff anymore." Gives it to some random guy who's standing right there.
Gives both badges to him. It's not even sheriff and deputy. He just gives both of them. You get to be both.
He doesn't care who it is.
No.
I love it.
It's pretty funny. I really like the show. I like the art style, especially how it's like reminiscent of. I mean, part of it's nostalgia, I guess, because it's reminiscent of cartoons that I saw. Actually, maybe not cartoons I watched directly, but cartoons that were like on when I was younger. So it definitely reminds me of like the feeling, like the same like tone and attitude of some of the cartoons I really enjoyed growing up. So
yeah. I just looked it up to see like how long it was, 21 minutes, and it just YouTube will auto start playing on your phone, and it's just like every scene from the movie is just hilarious. It's the bad guys showing the portrait of the mayor, and they just put just a hand drawn, like crayon drawn of
the way he's like
new mayor on the.
He just completely like critique. It's like your form is wrong, your proposition's wrong. These are tangent lines. It's like, and it's perfect. He loves it anyway. He's a good boss, okay? He's got healthcare. He's got a good healthcare plan for his minions. He's a good guy, a good
Dude,
bad guy.
that scene is just so good. Everything is just so good.
It's really funny. And he Marigold, the secretary, just betrays him because he's got better healthcare. And she immediately takes her paid vacation. And she's
immediately.
two,
I'm leaving.
2 big suitcases full of cash. You're on her way out of town.
And she comes back right away.
Yeah, she comes back because he dies. And Bigfoot, I forget his name, but he's a Bigfoot guy. He's like a big Sasquatch. He's red. Do you remember
Yeah.
When Mako's being like the sandworm has Mako in his mouth and he's like taking him over the sunset. You know, he's taking him over the hills. He's just like, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh, and Mako's line, it's like, I killed your daddy.
Well, no, but he's dead. So.
No, but he is dead.
But he is dead.
It's great. I thought that was so funny.
I was so confused because I'm like, oh my goodness, is this going to be like a serious scene? And I was like, no.
You didn't do it. I really like that.
Nobody is dead.
I'm kind of bummed out Mako died because I liked him a lot. He was very funny, but but I understand if they want to have new guys and they want to do different stuff. But
make the eel the next eel.
Eel comes back. He's got a promotion. He fished out the hat from the sandworm. So it's so good. There's so many fun jokes, so many background gags. Everything is very intentional.
I gotta rewatch just for the shot of the sand. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Like I said, everything seems like very well thought out and intentional, and the way they like reincorporate things, it's great. And so you like BW's character though, right?
Oh yeah. She worked really well.
Okay, awesome.
For the story. So
I thought she was very good too.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how, since Rawhide didn't have anywhere to go without the sheriff's office, she went to her dad's grave.
Yep.
I thought that was really good.
Actually, I would like there was a pretty serious. I mean, it's pretty serious tones for like the part of the show that needed to be.
It's very lighthearted, but it's not irreverent to itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not Ant-Man Quantumania. where they've got this arc going on with MODOK.
Gosh.
And just like they don't treat it seriously at all. And it's like, I know MODOK is a big silly head, and I know the one you made is really ugly and goofy looking, but if you're gonna write something like this and you cannot take yourself seriously when it matters, like when it counts, because that's a story thing. It's not just like it is. Like he makes a self-sacrifice. This guy died saving the main characters, and like they're just making jokes about him, even though like he saved the day.
Yeah.
He was like the hero of the movie. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's a goofy character. It's a goofy idea for a character, but you're the one who's just going like, we can't make this serious. Why did you even bother? Why did you even bother incorporating him into the plot in this way if you weren't going to take it seriously? So like, I think there's a real lack of sincerity in a lot of things in Hollywood at the moment. But Long Gone Gulch is an indie project, and they're very sincere. I think indie projects in general, they're not the kind of guys to like, an indie project usually doesn't just go, like, hey, this is stupid. Look at us. We're being so stupid. None of this matters. Isn't that dumb? There's a sincerity to it.
Yeah, there's so much passion behind all these things.
I think all of these are made by very passionate people. I don't think any of them like are irreverent to themselves, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So, like they're not afraid to be sincere when it counts, when it's appropriate. So I think Long Gone Gulch, like, even though it's very lighthearted, and I would never say like any of it's like down or dour, it's like it doesn't like it doesn't treat like her dad being dead as just a general joke, right?
No, the only joke is really the villain
Like
saying,
he is,
"I killed your dad."
yeah. It's like he is dead though, but the joke isn't the joke isn't just her dad being dead and whoa, isn't that crazy? Isn't that funny? Which would be weird.
The joke is him trying to like say he
Yeah,
killed
it's the joke. The joke is he's built himself up and then he's like, well, not really.
him. No, not really.
That's kind of a subversive humor thing. So, but I can't recommend this pilot enough. It might be my favorite like animated pilot on YouTube. Period.
Oh yeah, probably on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking for all shows,
For all shows that
probably top
it's
3 maybe.
It's probably pretty high. I think mine might be top 10.
For shows or animated shows.
Well, most of the shows I like to watch are animated anyways, but
Okay.
you know, probably animated shows. I don't know. I'm not super great at listing things, but I know Arcane's pilot.
And
is really good, so-
that's the one. Arcane, and I probably put one other if I really thought about it.
Yeah, Arcane's pilot's really good. I think Ben 10's pilot's actually pretty good too. I don't
know if it's better than.
I don't know if it's better than this,
Than
but
Long
it
Gone
is
Gulch,
trying to
but-
accomplish different things. So
It is pretty good though.
I think that's a good pilot. I think Phineas and Ferb's pilot's good, but I don't think it's completely, as far as being representative of the show, I don't think it's completely representative of the show because
Okay.
the characters do change pretty quickly after the pilot. Phineas in particular.
I need to watch Phineas and Ferb, man.
It's a really good
I watch
show.
a lot of
It's a really good show. And there are a lot of great pilots out there, so
yeah.
but I think this is a very good one. I mean, like I said, this is easily TV show quality. It's definitely better than some of the stuff they're airing now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so huge recommend.
Huge recommend.
Please watch
donate
it.
lots of pallets of cash.
Please, the 1 millionaire in our audience who definitely exists out of the 22 people we have, donate all of your money to the show.
I might make a video on Long Gone Gulch and Monkey Wrench from my channel just because I was thinking oh, I can cover. I've only ever like reviewed movies, but I was like I can review TV shows, but I probably like will do like entire seasons at once.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, man, with stuff like Arcane, I would have way too much to say, and so I would probably do an episode.
Or you could do it by like chunks of episodes, like with Andor.
Yep. So, but I mean,
which is kind of what we did.
Long Gone Gulch has been out for 3 years, so I mean, I don't think I have to wait around for a decade or so to like
talk about it. Talk about it for sure.
So,
because it's awesome. And
it is. It's freaking great.
People to watch it. So, and hopefully it gets some success so it can continue. Because I really want it to continue. I really like this show, and I'd be really bummed out if it never got a chance to keep going. That would be so disappointing. For the creators, I'm sure so much more than me, but like as a viewer, I would be pretty stinking bummed.
Yeah.
It would
just because I could tell there's so much passion behind this. Like
it's good. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I just enjoy it so much. So
I think that we were at church and I told you like, hey, I feel like I go is pretty good.
Yeah,
I think all I said was like, it's pretty
good. It is pretty good. So if you're at the spoiler section and you haven't watched it already, watch it.
Watch it again.
Watch it again.
You could probably watch it like 5-6 times.
Come on, guys, let's get it past Digital Circus.
Oh God!
Do it.
If all 10 of you watch it nonstop for 27 years, we'll tie it.
Yep, we can do it, guys. Let's make a bunch of bots and artificially inflate those numbers.
YouTube doesn't have a problem with that already.
No, they don't have a problem with that, right?
Oh, all right, you want to move on to Godspeed?
Yeah, last one. Let's do it.
All right, I don't have too much to say about this. I like the seriousness and the tone. It's very different from the others. From most of the pilots and stuff I've seen on YouTube.
Right.
But I think it actually goes a little too serious, especially at the end.
I do think there are certain points where it can be borderline. melodramatic.
Well, when we get lines like, "We don't have time for this," when like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you're just standing around talking. So why not just explain?
Yeah, they didn't really establish why there was. That's one of my pet peeves. There's no time. It's like, but then they get like in a vehicle and they're just like driving away.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
You can't talk and drive. Like, there's travel time.
That's the thing.
You can multitask. You don't. No, I'm a really bad driver. I cannot focus on two things at once. There is no time. Okay. Or they're on an airplane and they have to fly there. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Because it's like if they're not like a pilot, then it's just like they're sitting next to each other. There's no time. There's no time. I really want to make a skit about that sometime.
There's no time. Literally for 20 minutes they're just sitting there not doing anything.
Just gonna keep cutting to like them in the car. So can I ask it? No, there's no time. Them on the plane. There's no time.
Well, you just have a cut where they're in the car and it's like the music's exciting. Like, no, there's no time, and then it cuts to outside the car and it's just quiet and they're just like driving along.
Cuts to them in the elevator with elevator music. How about no? There's no time. Just keeps playing the elevator music in the background. Yeah, I would love to make a skit about that sometime. It would be funny. It's one of my pet peeves. It's just it's a really silly trope. Usually you can just explain it in the same amount of time that it would take to say there's no time. Someone's trying to kill you. Get in the car. It's not really that hard to say. It doesn't take up that much more time, guys. Instead, there's no time. Well, I don't trust you. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why you're here. You said there's no time, but you're in danger. Come with me. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know why you're here. I know what you want. I don't know if I can trust you, but I know what you're saying.
I mean, staying on Earth is essentially certain death. So.
Oh yeah, back to what we were talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just interesting how serious it takes itself, and then at the end it's just like the music is just going all crazy.
I think it's more the music that I have the problem with, because that's when it starts to feel a little melodramatic, where it's like, I don't think you've earned this. I think it feels more like the music isn't trying. Like
it feels like a mid-season segment.
It feels unearned, and when it's unearned, it feels kind of like, oh, the music is here to manipulate me into feeling emotions that haven't been earned by the story. And it's like, I don't like to feel that way. I felt that way with certain shows before, and it's not fun to go back, like, because it's worked on me before. I watch it through the first time, I get really excited about the show, and then I watch it through the second time, and man, this wasn't earned. Yeah. My emotions weren't earned, and it feels gross. I just feel like I was manipulated. It feels dishonest.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's that bad here. I just think it's a little over the top. At the end, like you were saying.
But I think throughout the rest of the show, I thought it was really well done. Paced and the theme was pretty good.
My biggest problem is the premise shifting.
At the very end, yeah.
It's not even like a change, like a firm change. It's like a pivot. It's kind of established, but we're kind of dropping some part of it.
I mean, like, realistically, if you had all the time in the world, you could have had a couple episodes with her on Earth easily.
Or like whatever planet it is. We don't know if it's Earth or not. I don't think that was confirmed.
I guess you're right. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I thought that was the premise of the show. Was her getting through the desert to get to the escape point. I thought that was going to be like a season. And it was not. It was the pilot. That was solved at the end of the pilot.
Yeah.
And
now there's a whole new person.
Now there's a new goal.
The one person that was established with the intro is staying here for some reason, and
Uncle Ryan. It's like Ryan.
It's like Ryan.
It's like Ryan, our guest from last episode.
The continuity is strong.
Yes, let's go. Yeah, so it's Ryan. He's back, guys.
He's back.
He's back to talk about Inside Out 2 again.
Again.
We haven't decided what movie we'll talk about with him next. So, um, yeah, I mean, it really seemed like, okay, she's going to spend this season getting to the escape point so she can meet up with Uncle Ryan and get off the planet. Um, and then maybe a new goal would be established for season 2. More relating to like what did they call it? The ion?
Ion, yeah.
Yeah, the ion. More relating to what that is, where it came from.
Who put it there, stuff like that.
Stuff like that. I thought that was going to be like next season thing, or which, that's pretty optimistic of me, I guess, because it's pretty hard for animated shows to get a lot of seasons nowadays. You're lucky if you get 2.
Yeah.
You don't usually get more than 3 nowadays.
Seasons.
Yeah, at least on Disney.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't give out like more than 3.
Just a fun fact: Scooby-Doo has 9.
Oh wait, no, 2. Maybe it's 2.
Scooby-Doo has 9 TV shows. Not a single one of them is over 3 seasons. So.
Yeah, it might be that that like renegotiation cutoff thing we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
I think I think back on it, Andy Griffith and Full House, they have like so many seasons.
Oh,
the Waltons. But then I think of animation.
SpongeBob, Simpsons, Family Guy,
One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece. One Piece is the biggest.
Yeah, those would be the ones that stand out as being like they've been around for forever.
It's usually like adult animated shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben 10 kind of has, but it kind of hasn't because it's been restarted over and over again, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's super popular, but for some reason, not enough. Or
maybe it's a contract thing. Maybe it's a renegotiation thing. Because there are some weird things in Hollywood where, like, I know if you play a character, even if it's just like same amount of lines, right? If your character gets a name, you automatically that's a different type of role, so they have to pay you more.
Well, I know the thing with the Kung Fu Panda 4,
so
with how many movies for what contract they were the Furious 5 in the first 3 films. Right. Doesn't matter how many lines they said, since they have been in these many films, right. Every sequel after it, their paycheck needs to go up exponentially, even if they don't. Yeah. Even if they only say a few lines.
And see, sometimes I can understand where it's kind of unreasonable.
Yeah.
Like when it is with like these massive actors who get tons and tons of money. Like, how much did Robert Downey Jr. get to sign back up for the next Avengers movie?
Are you?
How much was it? Was it like?
I don't know. Clue.
It was millions and millions of
dollars. It's some absurd amount.
I think it was over. It was like well over 100 million. Like, that's a low estimate. I might need to look it up because it was crazy how much he got.
He's like, well, I could do more Doolittle movies, or I can go back to what I know.
Did he do more than one Doolittle movie?
No, he just did the one.
I thought so.
He did that right after, though. That was his first thing he did after Marvel. And it was not good.
That was after Marvel?
Yeah, that was the first thing he did after Endgame.
I thought that was before.
No, that was right after Endgame.
I watched that movie, and I thought it was before.
It's so bad.
I didn't think it was very good.
That was before all of Marvel, or before that he ended?
I don't know. I thought it was just earlier. I thought it happened a while ago. I didn't think it was like 2020s.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was late 2010s.
Oh my gosh, really?
It just felt like a really old movie. Like, well, not really old, but like late 2000s.
Dang. I never saw it. I heard it was not good.
It was very generic, and I wasn't paying attention very well, so I can't condemn it too hard because I didn't really I just didn't really care that much to watch it. But hang on. Let me see.
We got so off topic, I don't even know.
Yeah, I just want to see his salary here.
I didn't hear how much it was.
The Russos are getting $80 million to direct. Avengers Doomsday,
Just one movie? 80
Avengers
million to
Secret
direct one movie?
Wars. I think it's just 2. It
That's
says
so much money.
yeah. So this is the sentence from a Variety article. It's sources say Marvel is plunking down $80 million for Anthony and Joe Russo to direct Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and significantly more for Downey to tackle uber villain Doctor Doom in the 2 tentpoles. So they're supposedly they're getting $80 million. The Russos are for both of those movies. Trying to find the source on Iron Man on Robert Downey Jr.
Million a movie. So there's 2 of them.
Yes.
$20 million a movie. That's so much money, man.
That's a ton,
dude. What are the budgets for these movies going to be? That's insane.
I mean, they're hundreds of millions of dollars. Like they're like 750 million, isn't it? Like, yeah, 700 maybe.
That's insane.
The Russo's deal doesn't include back-end compensation, but it does contain performance escalators that kick in at the $750 million and $1 billion threshold. So they could get more if it performs better.
Oh my goodness.
And this is from a Variety article called Behind Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo Brothers Mega Avengers Paydays by Tatiana Siegel. It's Siegel as the last name. Just in case anybody wants to find it, this is what I'm looking at. It could be wrong. If the article's wrong, it could be wrong. I'm not sure. I cannot find it.
I feel like I would have heard about it if that was.
I heard it was really high.
I mean, I can imagine, man. I can only imagine.
I heard it was really high. I don't see it in that article because a lot of articles online are just filled with fluff before they actually give you what
I know.
looked for.
And they want you to pay it once you get to like the real stuff.
A lot of them do. I wish they would just say like, oh, here's MSN and the story is unavailable. Okay, never mind. Okay, we don't know, but he got like a lot of money.
Gosh.
And so like when it comes to stuff like that where you've got these massive actors and they have these massive paydays, then it's like, okay, well, I can kind of understand why you want to limit that. But for these animated shows and stuff, I highly doubt it's anything that extreme.
There's no way.
And it's not like voice actors are I don't think there's a single voice actor who's reached the same level as like Robert Downey Jr. or anyone like that where they
well, not for their role. Like I'm thinking of like major voice actors, but they're popular because of live action films mostly.
Yeah. But I mean like primarily voice actors and stuff where you'd have to worry about this like huge, just excessive payment. But and I can kind of understand it from the actor's side, whereas like you're this big, your demand is really large. Like like everybody wants you in the movie. So in order to filter out what movies you're going to do, you have to go, okay, well, I'm only going to do movies that pay me at least this much. So that way you don't have people who are constantly like bombarding you with requests.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to kind of
if I was an actor, man, I would. If I was a popular actor, though, I would so like act in small movies if they were good, like Harrison Ford. Like I don't know if he does it now, but he said before he signed any contract for any movie, he would read the script himself. And
which is what you should do.
Which is what you should do. I'm like, well, heck yeah, that's awesome.
It would have saved Bill Murray from Garfield.
Man. It would have saved a lot of people from a lot of things.
It would have, yeah. Reading the script is. If you're an actor, I think reading the script before you accept a role, it's like one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Like, because if the movie's got a bad script, it doesn't matter how good of an actor you are.
Nope. It doesn't matter at all.
Because if that script is bad, the movie's not going to turn out.
Yeah.
It's the quality ceiling has been lowered. It cannot get past, like, the heights the film could reach are so much lower because the writing's bad. And no matter, like, even if you act perfectly, even if all the visuals, like, all the visual departments, they do their jobs and it looks beautiful. It's the most breathtaking film in the world. The quality of the film is still going to hit that ceiling and not be able to move past it because
Yeah.
you've got a bad foundation. You've got a bad foundation, and that's what the writing is in all these mediums, in like any storytelling medium. It's the foundation.
Yep.
Everything else is built on top of that. You know, it's like these Star Wars shows, they have these great visuals and stuff. A lot of them have pretty, well, not all of them, but a lot of them
Some
have,
of them have good visuals.
yeah, okay, there's some really good visuals in these Star Wars shows, like Mandalorian.
Yep.
The first season of Mandalorian looks good.
Yep.
Right? So, I haven't watched the first season in full, but I've seen some stuff from that looks pretty good. A lot of cool effects. But, you know, if the writing doesn't, like, if the writing's bad, it doesn't matter how good those visuals are.
Yep.
Like, it's still going to make it better than if the show had bad visuals. But what they're
It's
contributing
just never going to
to,
be able to rise to a height of
right,
it's any show that's confident writing.
the foundation's bad. Like,
Yep.
the brickwork, the masonry that's laid on top of that concrete slab, it's beautiful. It's intricate, but the slab sucks, so the building's going to collapse. It's going to fall over, it's going to sink down into the ground, it's not going to work. And that stinks for all the people who put their hard work and energy into something with a bad script. I think that really stinks. I think that's one of the reasons why, as writers, like, for the people who are writers, it's so important that you do your job right.
Yep.
Because if you don't do your job right, you could be setting up so many other people you could be like setting them up to pour all their hard work and energy, all their time and effort into something that just won't work.
That's the Arcane story in a nutshell. Like the writing was not good, so they just redid it.
Yeah.
You just have to do that.
And they knew it had to be good. They knew it had to be good for the audience and for themselves.
Like, yeah. That's just such a good. That's such a good story. Like, we read the script and it was not good, so we completely threw it out.
If you haven't watched Arcane, you should probably watch Arcane. It's really good.
Yep.
But even if you don't, you should definitely watch. If you have any interest in filmmaking, in writing, in this sort of visual medium.
Well, if you're interested in music, if like they've got an episode on foliage and like Foley, and like, I mean, that's super interesting stuff.
Right. If you're interested in art, music, film, writing, whatever, if you like any of that stuff, anything, and if any aspect of production, of like a film production or a TV production, like, interest you, you should watch the documentary series about Arcane. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's on like their official YouTube channel on is it Riot's official YouTube channel or League of Legends?
I think it's League of Legends officially.
So it's on League of Legends official YouTube channel. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it because it's a really good
we'll put it
documentary.
We'll put it in the description for sure.
Yeah, so we'll put that in the description as well as the other pilots that we're covering.
Yeah.
So that way you guys can check them out. But
Long Gone Gulch will be on top.
We will rank them in order.
All of the links will take you to Long Gone Gulch.
We're not gonna do that. We're not. Don't worry. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent about the industry and stuff. But going back to Godspeed.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't like about it, was this fact that it shifted the premise from, hey, we're going to get through this wasteland and we're going to get to this point and get to Uncle Ryan and he's going to take us to safety. He's going to rescue us. It changes from that to, we're going to find your parents and maybe your uncle.
Because I don't know where either of them are.
Yeah. And your parents definitely worked on the ion thing. Here's a message from your dad, which was a nice message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it feels like it should be a payoff to something.
Yeah.
To the journey to get there, which it just feels like that journey should have been longer, as in like maybe multiple episodes or something.
Yeah.
But it
Yep.
really felt like that was the premise of the show rather than the premise of the pilot. But maybe that's just a miscommunication thing. I'm not sure. I think it would. I wish it was better communicated that this is a short-term goal and not a long-term goal. If that's what
If
they
she
want to
got
do.
to it, if the episode maybe went way faster, and we even like got more of a conversation on the ship and like getting off planet, and then establishing like the goal,
Yeah,
the true goal, like now.
or foreshadowing like the larger goal a little
Mhm.
sooner,
Yeah.
or because once you establish a goal, I'm usually going to assume like, oh, this is what we're working towards.
Yeah.
As like, as that seemed like a big goal to me.
Yeah.
Just getting, because they already showed that the wasteland is like really dangerous and inhospitable weather-wise.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was going to take longer, and I really did.
Well, I thought actually while watching it, I was watching, okay, so she's gonna be living here trying to get off the planet for a long time,
Mhm.
and then oh, she gets the message. Okay, at the end of this episode, she's getting off planet, and then she goes there. The truck gets flipped. I'm like, okay, nope, she's not getting off planet this episode. And then she somehow was close enough to
Yeah.
just walk all the way there, and then I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I misread that, I guess.
I did not think she was getting off planet this episode
Yeah,
until
well,
the spaceship showed up.
yeah, when the truck flipped over, I'm like, oh, this is not good. She's
Yeah,
stuck
but
for a while.
you said that the message you thought were like, oh, okay, we're gonna get off planet this episode.
Yeah,
I didn't think that at
you
all.
didn't think that either.
No, I thought we would like, oh, okay, that means that's the goal we're working towards. That's
We're
what
working towards
yeah.
getting off
So
planet.
we're going.
Okay.
That's the goal of like at least that's a more of a long term goal, like
Okay.
multiple episodes at least. I thought it was going to be a season thing. Was just navigating a hostile environment, trying to get this to the epicenter to get off planet. So I wish it was just communicated a little better what the actual long term goal was, so I wasn't as invested in that idea before it was just resolved very quickly, because it's introduced and then it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
did it.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
At the end there.
Well, I mean, there's like one scene where it's like a challenge, like, okay, or maybe two, I guess.
It's a while getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But it's well within a day.
Yeah, well, that's what I said when the truck flipped. I thought for sure, oh, there's no way she's
Yeah.
walking in this weather. Like
Mhm.
she's in trouble.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be much more of an ordeal. Not to say that it wasn't a challenge at all,
Mhm.
but I just thought that was what we were going to be working towards. But it's okay that it's not. It's okay that I was wrong. It's just I just wish they let me know I was wrong a little sooner. I wish they'd communicated it a little better, but I was a little confused how with the rain. So after the truck flips, right?
Yep.
I thought, okay, she's going to have to hunker down
Under the truck. Yep.
Because the rain hurts. Like, because it shows that she's bleeding earlier when it first rains.
Yeah. Well, I would assume from that scene, because it's raining.
It's raining hard enough to crack glass.
But it's not all of it. Is what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
the water is not what's like the rain is not what's causing her to bleed and what's to crack the glass. There's probably rocks in there.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that a storm is carrying more things.
I didn't see any rocks or anything that hit the windshield though. Like
I'm just going by the sound, and because it's raining, but not every drop of rain is causing the same amount of damage.
Right, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Just like, in hail, if there's ever hail,
Mm-hmm.
Not every piece of hail is going to be the same size or hit with the same strength. But like I really thought the rain itself was what was causing the damage. I thought it was the rain that was hitting hard enough to crack the glass, and that's why she was throwing the tarp over it, not because of rocks. If it was rocks, that's fine. I just didn't. I don't think that was
it didn't
communicated
show us
well.
rocks ever. I'm just going off of
Okay.
in the real world. I've never seen rain
Right.
damage
Well,
glass, so
I assumed it was a supernatural thing. Like it was a fictional thing.
because of the
Yeah.
ion. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought it was
I
like
mean, I guess it could be. Yeah.
I thought it was a fictional concept. Like, okay, we're making this danger rain
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. At first I thought it was acid rain because I thought it was like a real concept, but then I was like,
Mhm.
oh no, that's clearly not acid rain,
Mhm.
but it's just like hard rain. It's like really heavy rain that's painful. It's like, okay, I gotcha. But then when she just went out into it
Yeah,
and
I
kept
was
going, I was confused. I think the only way I can kind of wrap my head around it is to say, okay, maybe the rain doesn't stop here. Maybe that's part of the weird weather thing that she can't hunker it down, she can't wait it out because the rain isn't stopping.
isn't gonna stop.
That's kind of the only way I could rationalize it to myself. That's not in the show. They don't establish in the pilot that the rain doesn't stop in this area, or the rain gets like more consistent the closer you get to the
Well,
epicenter.
the only
Or
thing we get is her friend telling her it's like suicide to try to go there.
yeah,
Um,
which I mean, I guess I don't think it's an unreasonable thing to infer, but I wish it was a little. I wish I wasn't the one. I wish I didn't have to do as much work to reach for it. You know?
yeah, yeah. Well, again, like when the truck flipped over, I thought it was gonna be a bigger deal than it was. I didn't expect her to just
Yeah.
put on a hoodie and walk through it. So
I mean, it was big. It was a big deal. Like she could have died, but
yeah.
you know, she
Well,
got out okay, and her robot got out with a crack
well,
on his
that's what I
face.
was expecting
So
her to like have to like
yeah,
take the tarp over her robot.
yeah. I
Yeah,
thought I was thinking about that too because I was like, he's basically just
exposed.
exposed, and you're kind of exposed too. But like is he really that much stronger than the truck?
No, he's
In
got glass
material?
on him.
I mean,
I would
he's
assume.
got. I mean, I guess maybe it's
If a truck needs protection by a tarp, he's got to be protected by
probably
a tarp.
yeah. I mean, he's what is he? He's a karaoke machine, right? Like he's he's
Oh,
a
that's his primary
yeah.
function. It seems.
He's primarily like a karaoke
He's a
machine.
party. He's a party
Yeah,
robot.
he's probably not made to go through this sort of intense weather.
We
So
could have
like,
a party.
but like a truck is made to go through pretty intense weather.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you know, there are sometimes, but you know, in general, trucks are made to go through heavy rain and things like that. So if a truck can't handle it, why would the karaoke machine be able to? Um, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange. It's not a deal breaker for me. Maybe he's made of some sci-fi glass or something. He's made of space glass and it's immune
Space
to
glass.
rain. I don't know. Um, uh, so mostly we've talked about some of the things that bothered us, some of the negative things. Um, let's talk about some of the positive things because I do
Positive
think there are
things.
things to like about Godspeed.
And well, I was already talking like the tone for the entire rest of the show. I thought was really good.
Yeah,
Um,
besides the parts where they can go a little over dramatic on the soundtrack or a
the
little
the very
underneath.
dramatic scene where she's walking into the house.
Mhm. I
And
thought that was a really good scene.
I was like, like shocked the first time I watched that.
I did not expect them to have suicide
Yeah,
in the show.
yeah. Well, I didn't know what was going on because like the house is nice and there's like
There's
obviously there's someone was celebrating
there's
something.
alcohol everywhere.
Yeah,
There's
happy
a
end of the world.
happy end of the world banner hanging up. Um, she goes upstairs. She finds two bodies dead with a message spray painted on the wall that just says, "What is it? Don't forget
We
us."
existed.
Oh, we existed, and
Yeah.
with their names,
Yep.
which I don't remember. Which is not great for the theme of the show, but it's on me. um, yeah, I was not expecting them to go there, but it does make sense given the circumstances of the show.
Yeah, I was really shocked the first time I saw it. I was oh my gosh, this show is really going for something.
Yeah, I think it was shocking, but I think that was earned.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Oh, I
yeah,
think so too.
unlike the ending where it felt like it didn't quite earn that level of emotion that they were trying to get from the soundtrack. I think this was like totally earned.
Totally earned.
Totally earned.
Absolutely.
I was there with it. I was feeling what they wanted me to feel.
Yeah, I mean, the robot's downstairs, excited to have power, and she's
And
just
get all this
upstairs.
music and stuff.
Yeah, and then she just gets hit with reality that these people just gave up, and oh man, it was not a
yeah. Their party was just the like,
It-
hey, we're
yeah.
gonna die.
yeah.
One last hurrah before we go, because we're
Yeah.
not going. We're gonna, yeah. Ugh. It's
It
pretty-
was like I did not expect that at all, and
no. But it makes sense given the setting, and I think it
Yeah.
fits the tone. It's definitely the darkest the show gets, but
mhm.
I think it's fitting.
And she writes her own name there.
Yeah. What
when
did
she
she write
leaves.
that with? Because I was a little
It was
unclear.
red
Because it was
um,
red, not so it clearly wasn't the same
stuff they used.
like paint they used, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. what she
I wasn't
used.
sure if it was implying it was her blood, but I didn't think that
I don't
that
think it
made
was
sense
blood.
because she only had that like itty bitty
Mark on her
marker
arm.
on her arm where she was bleeding, which I think was from the rain, which I would assume would just be the force of the rain,
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I mean, if it's strong enough to crack glass, it'll
Yeah.
cut skin. So.
or like bludgeon it, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever the right term would be. Yeah, that's heavy.
Oh yeah. I remember. I like I said, I watched that for the first time, and I was like, "Wow,
Mhm.
this show is going to be interesting."
It's willing to go places.
Yeah.
It's willing to go places. I think the disclaimer on it is very
Very apt,
justified.
yeah.
Sometimes I think shows can be a little too cautious about having disclaimers on them. Sometimes, but I think it's pretty justified here. When it comes to stuff like suicide, I think that's worth a disclaimer.
Oh yeah. Like I wouldn't show this to kids. Like
No. I appreciate it when they have like YouTube pilots have like okay, not for this age,
yeah.
because normally that's what a rating system would do, but since it's on the internet,
Yep.
they don't abide by that, and they shouldn't have to.
And it doesn't show the people very much.
No, it shows
Shows their feet in the first clip, and then in the
Yeah.
background, you either very blurred. You can't.
yeah.
see
I mean,
almost anything.
it's PG-13 level. It's
Yeah.
not, but it is a heavy topic, and
But it's
not,
handled pretty well. Like
Yeah,
so.
I mean, when it comes to suicide, I mean I think that's pretty much always worthy of like, hey, our show talks about some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not explicitly saying that it's that, but because you still don't. Because if they had said, hey, by the way, pilot, it's got a suicide warning right here, probably wouldn't be as much of a surprise.
Yeah.
But
I like the way she didn't take anything from the house afterwards.
yeah, which
I
I'm
don't know,
not.
in an apocalyptic setting, you
I
might
think-
want to.
I think she
but-
took some alcohol
Okay.
from the house, and I think that was
Gotcha.
it. Because she gives it to her friend. Is it June?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gives her a bottle, and I assume it's stuff she got from the house.
Okay.
But she doesn't really take anything else. Uses their Wi-Fi. Takes
Takes all their music.
takes all their music. Takes all their alcohol. Leaves. No. Yeah, she doesn't really take much from them, which is good.
It's a good thing Rocky didn't show up.
You would have got all the alcohol. That's for sure. Not sure who he'd sell it to, but he'd grab it. Yeah, so I think that's a good scene. I think the contrast between Bowie, the robot, downloading the music, and his attitude about being so excited because he finally gets to have some music and stuff, which
Gets excited about hosting a party because of the party that they were having here. He was
Yeah.
like, looks like they were having a party.
because that's his purpose. That's what
Yeah.
he's built to do. I like him. I
And
think he's charming,
Yeah, she doesn't tell him about it.
which I think is probably good.
Oh yeah.
Don't
yeah.
have to tell him about it.
Oh, I mean, like this is a robot who's like wants to throw parties, and you're not gonna tell him
Yeah.
that the party that it was just throwing was because they were gonna die.
I
Like,
mean, and how much would you understand it or anything?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not something you need to talk about with them.
yeah. Like a lesser show would have drug it on and like made it the whole focus of the episode or something like that, which I guess you could do well, but
Yeah.
just the fact that like it's seen like by Iris, and then um she kind of deals with it really well.
And then she moves on.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She leaves her name there and
Yeah.
she moves on. Yeah. I really like how they got the message to Iris in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Where because because Bowie is this way, this is his character. He's downloading all these songs. He's just downloading everything because he's so excited that he finally has music and he can just finally be part of the internet again. He's downloading everything he can. I think that's a really good way to justify it based on character. So like, oh, it's not just a coincidence. It's not like, oh, there's a radio and then the message is playing on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, whoop. No, he's downloaded a bunch of these things. Message was one of them, and he's cycling through them.
Yep.
Like pretty much as soon as he gets music, he starts cycling through all the messages he's gotten.
Yep.
So it was only like a matter of time before she heard it. So I think that was a really good way to justify that.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes, "That was a really bad song."
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny contrast because that's what Iris needs to hear. That's her hope.
Yeah.
That's how she's gonna get out of there. But it wasn't a very good song.
I just love it.
He's right. It wasn't a very good song.
Was not a good song.
That was good. I really like the opening.
Mm-hmm.
In contrast to Lackadaisy, I really like this opening.
Oh yeah. Really gripping. It has the stakes of the show, like right away. Like, all right, they're leaving Earth. Like,
it's immediately intriguing because
mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, there's like a disaster going on. Earth is being or whatever planet is being evacuated. Can't take everybody. There's a ticket global arc program or global arc, whatever it's called. So they're taking people on this, by the name. It's like, okay, this is like a lifeboat thing. So immediately establishes that there's these guards waiting, all lined up, establishes that natural reaction of the people who are being left behind, and but then it brings in the questions of, okay, like, what happened to get the planet this way? What happened to cause this disaster? Why weren't they prepared for this? Might be one of the questions you're asking. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's some level of intrigue immediately. And there's also the level of, who's this girl? Why she got an earbud, like telling her what to do? Who's that guy? So there's that too. And then, of course, the way it establishes her character by, the biggest thing, there's like little things throughout the sequence, but the big thing, of course, is her giving up her ticket to a little boy
who she doesn't even know.
And staying behind. And then the last thing, which we find out, of course, it's Uncle Ryan, the man, the myth, the legend, the Inside Out 2 reviewer.
Inside Out 2 reviewer.
He's like, I will find you. I will be back. Like, I'm not going to forget about you. I'm coming back. I will find a way to get to you. So there's that, which is, it's really gripping. It's really cool.
It's pretty good.
And, of course, having a character basically sacrifice their life for another, like an innocent person that they don't even know, it's a pretty good way to make you like that character.
Yeah.
It says a lot about
a very short amount of time.
Yeah. I don't like the term "save the cat" because it's stupid. But if you're good, this is a good way to like establish, hey, this is the type of person this character is, and it's a good way to make you care about them because we tend to care about people who are like self-sacrificing like that, at least in stories. probably in real life too. But
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was a really good
Mm-hmm.
introduction to her character, and just to the show as a whole.
I think you're right, and then the fact that it begs a lot of questions about the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I mean, it establishes her character really well.
Right.
So
So it's establishing the character while also bringing up natural questions based on like the circumstance and what's going. Because we don't have all the information, but we know there is more information. Like there's clearly stuff around what we're seeing that we don't know about yet. So it makes it's good intrigue, I think. Good. I mean, I think it's a gripping opening compared to like Lackadaisy's, how they spend their first 2 minutes is with that poem, and it's like that poem really doesn't. It doesn't really get me invested about like
No.
what's going on, who these people are, what they want, And you could make a poem and do it in a way that's saying a lot about the characters, and you could tie that into the main character's motivation and stuff. But as far as comparing like the first two opening sequences between these, I think Godspeed easily is more engaging.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I thought it was cool.
I thought it was pretty good.
thought
I
it
like the
was
tone.
cool.
I like the tone in general.
Yeah, I like the tone too.
So
I
not just the intro, but the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
And in the intro, they don't have any dialogue for Iris in the intro.
Nope.
In the opening sequence, which I think is a good choice. The only one with dialogue is Ryan, Uncle Ryan.
In the earpiece.
Yeah. And I think that's good because, from and out of like, we need to know what's going on, but it also allows Iris to be quiet so we can just observe her actions and judge her based on those.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than having her going, what's going on? Where do I go? I'm just thinking of Forspoken.
But these are the last ships that are gonna leave. If I have to give up my ticket, I won't be able to go.
You don't have a ticket? But that's the only way off the planet before the sun thing comes and kills us all. That sucks for you. Why don't you take my ticket?
Gosh.
I think it's much like I'm sure you can do the dialogue in a good way. I just think not you having dialogue here was a good choice.
Yeah, it was really good. The music I think was really good too.
Yes.
So
yes, it allowed us to focus on those things, on the visuals and the music, and the little dialogue that there is, because Uncle Ryan is clarifying from his dialogue, which makes sense in the universe because he's instructing Iris on where to go and what to do. But that gives us context for what's going on that we need, but it also allows the emphasis to be on other things, on the visuals and the actions and things like that, and the music. So, which I like.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was good. I think the opening might be my favorite part. I think it's a really strong opening, but
probably yeah.
Art style. You want to talk?
Oh,
about
I really liked it. Even though,
yeah,
I mean, like you said, a lot of jagged.
It's very geometric.
Geometric. Yeah. That's what you said.
So not a lot of curved shapes. So, which it could potentially be tricky to animate further down the line. So it depends on what stuff they want to do.
Yeah.
But I just hope it doesn't limit them too much.
Yeah.
In that
I was really impressed with how it looks in this
right
episode. So.
I think it looks good here for sure. I just hope it doesn't limit them too much down the line. I do think it looks good right now though, so I'm sure they can make it work though. The guy behind it seems to have a lot of experience. So for the theme of the show, for the theme of the pilot, it's about like being forgotten and the desire to not be forgotten and like hope and stuff in that. So what did you think about like the theming and stuff?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you even get it in subtle ways with Robot just constantly saying, "Oh, remember when people used to get together and excited, like even he's
Yeah.
like drawing back on things.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, every character at one point or another is talking about like things in the past and that they want back. Um, that that's important to them in some
Yeah.
way. And he's a comic relief key character, so and even he's like enforcing the theme. So
Yeah, that's really good. I didn't notice that. It's a
yeah.
good catch.
Like, remember when people used to get together and have parties?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really didn't notice that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool detail. Wow, you're
But,
so
yeah,
good.
but like every character is constantly like motivated by not being by either it a different character has different aspects of it. Like Iris doesn't want to be forgotten. Ryan is like his role is assuring her that she won't be forgotten. And obviously coming through on that. It's like 2 years after.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that the
so.
gap?
I think it's 2 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Gosh,
And she's
the mother who let her son go. What was her name? I forget.
June.
June.
I think it was June.
Her motivation isn't necessarily for herself; it's for her son.
And she's already gotten that.
Yep.
Thanks to
and she's
Iris.
already gotten that, and that's. I mean, she's okay with staying behind, and
Which I was kind of curious because I was like, well, she's not that far away. Could they just go in the spaceship and go get her?
yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing. If it was going to be like a whole season, I can understand not like risking your life.
yeah,
for,
and
like,
she may not even be in the same place.
Yeah, but since it was like a half-hour drive and then a little walk,
I mean,
like,
I'll be more generous and say like maybe it was like 6 hours or so, but it was within a day. Like she
Yeah.
didn't have to sleep during that time.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, she couldn't get gas, so.
Yeah, and she had already been out elsewhere, so it was probably not 6 hours. It probably was just a few hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's so close.
Yeah.
She's so close. Like,
And she didn't say it's like, oh, it's like certain death going there, so I can understand, like, I don't know. She doesn't want to dissuade Iris from having hope of like being rescued, but also she's just trying to be realistic and like.
she's done.
Yeah.
She's done. She doesn't really have anything.
She's just drinking away.
Yeah, she's. My son's out. I'm a little bit of alcohol. That's all. No, I mean her primary concern was her son. He's safe. That's all she really needed. She's old enough that she feels fulfilled. She doesn't feel like she has to go and fight for it, I guess. But I mean, like from Iris's perspective, it's like, wow, I did it. What about you?
What about you?
She's like right over there. Maybe we could just. I mean, there's even a landmark.
The pilot's like, there's no time.
There's no time. He did say that. There's no time. Like, why isn't there time? We could just fly over there. There's a truck that marks the way. So if we see the truck, we just keep going that way.
He's been coming back every day at the same spot for like a year and a half.
I was curious how he knew to go to that spot. Like,
well, I mean,
when he did.
The spot, I understand.
No, I know why he went to the why he went
timing,
to that.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I was trying to say when he did. Like, I know that that's where they were the rendezvous point, but I didn't know why he went when he did. You know?
Yeah. I don't either.
Maybe it was just maybe that was the plan B. It's like, hey, you're gonna go down, you're gonna look for her, and you're gonna start here. But I'm not entirely sure. There could be a good explanation for it, but I'm not completely sure what it was. Wasn't really established super well.
Yeah, not well.
Did you like his design?
Oh yeah, I thought it was super cool.
I liked it with the mask on.
Well, we took off the mask and I was like, that's interesting. And
Yeah, I like it with the mask on for sure.
Oh yeah. It actually reminded me of the firelights in Arcane, like the mask.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so they have the animal masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I thought he looked really cool with the mask on. I'm not so sure about with the mask on. He looked very fluffy, but
yeah, he did.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I was like, oh man, this guy looks so cool. Then he takes off the mask. Oh, this guy.
I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
good. It's interesting.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was surprised. I didn't expect him to be so fluffy. Um, which is fine. I guess that's interesting because not a lot of people go in that direction. But
Yeah.
um, yeah. So the creator of the show, right?
Okay.
He made another show before this called, I think it was called Final Space.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
That was a show that actually got picked up, and I think it got picked up by Warner Brothers, and it had multiple seasons, and it got canceled
Okay.
before. I think it was before they were. He was ready to finish it. I think it got 3 seasons, and then it got canceled, so they didn't get another one to wrap things up.
Okay.
But it also was part of the Purge. Um,
Oh, really?
yes. So there's nowhere to watch it. It's not
It's
on
gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh man.
There's no available physical release. It's not on Netflix. It's not on streaming at all. It's gone. Completely.
Dang.
Yeah. So kind of understand where the theme came from.
Dang,
Huh?
man.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't believe
That
that's
was
crazy.
one of the wildest things. Just awful thing that happened because they don't want to pay royalties.
So how recently was that?
That was like last year, right?
Oh my
that happened.
goodness.
Maybe a year, actually maybe 2 years ago. I'm
Man,
not
I
sure.
get mad when like people don't want to hold on to the rights of like Sesame Street and stuff. Like old stuff. But
Yeah,
that's like last year it was wiped out.
it was not long ago. It was there was
Gosh.
this big purge. It was close to when the new guy came in. The new CEO came in to
Mm-hmm.
clean up because Warner Brothers has no money. To clean up their debt problems to try to get them making money so they could pay off their debts.
So it's like actually gone. It's not locked away somewhere.
It might be locked away in a vault somewhere, but there's no
Oh
way for the public to legally access it. No.
gosh.
And that happened to a lot of shows, a
Man.
lot of animated shows, even some big ones. Have you heard of Infinity Train?
I have heard of Infinity Train. Yeah.
That's gone. You cannot
Yeah.
access that. Um, I'm. I think. I think season 1 got a physical release. I could be
Okay.
wrong, but the rest of the seasons did not. I know that the rest of the seasons didn't. Season 1 may have, but that show got
Man.
erased. There's no legal way to access it anymore. Unless maybe there's that physical release from season 1, but there are a lot of shows that's happened to.
Buy physical media as soon as you can,
Yeah.
guys.
Buy physical media, support it,
Don't let it go away.
and there are a lot of other reasons to support it as well. Streaming, like Disney Plus has been caught like censoring things, changing scenes, things
Mhm.
like that. They've done that to a lot of their movies. So if you don't want your movie to be changed, if you're worried about censorship or anything like that, definitely buy it physical. Buy a physical
Mhm.
copy. And buy it soon because the land of media preservation not doing so hot, and it's only
Mhm.
getting it's getting worse. So
Yeah.
especially with there's this AI upscaling thing they're doing, and it's ruining a lot of 4K releases. So
I've heard about that, like
yeah,
crappy 4K releases.
yeah. So they, instead of like doing it properly, they're using AI to like fill in frames and stuff. And so if
Gosh.
you'll pause it on one of those frames, and you'll just see like all the faces are messed up and
It's like
looks
the
horrible.
Mulan animated where they use AI to
Uh,
double the frames or whatever
oh
they fill
yeah,
in.
it's the interpolation thing
Yeah.
where they misuse it. Where they misuse it because these gamers come in and they think, oh, if it's not 60 FPS, it's garbage. It's like, that's not how animation works, but you know,
Watch. Oh, yeah.
just ignore that. Okay, it's not like the frame rate was very intentional.
Yeah, watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and
Yeah,
when it slows down its frame rate, you don't complain, do
dude, I
you?
cannot believe they skipped out on my 60 FPS for Puss in Boots 2. I can't believe they did that. How am I supposed to watch this?
It's unwatchable.
It's unwatchable. It's like, I can understand why you need 60 FPS in games with reaction time,
With reaction time, yeah.
for sure. But like a
Plus,
movie,
I'm sure it looks better. Like I can believe
in
that.
certain
And
circumstances.
for games, yeah.
Yeah, for games. In certain games.
For certain games,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there are certain games that don't need a high frame rate. Like, there are plenty like puzzle games or like turn-based games where you don't really need a high frame rate to make a good one.
If
But for,
my
like-
Clash of Clans doesn't have 60 FPS, I'm not playing.
Gee whiz, could you... Ah,
Chess, man, it needs 60.
it has to have 60 FPS, dude. I can't play chess without 60 FPS. Listen, man, if I don't get to take your king in 4K, I am not playing. It's YMS moment.
God. Wait, is this chessboard not in 4K? What?
Wait, is this chessboard not in 4K? Opens up a book. Is this not in 4K?
Opens up a book. I just like he wakes up. Is this or he goes to sleep? Is this dream not in 4K?
It's the first thing he says every time he reacts to any trailer ever. It's just, is this not in 4K? It's like, no, Adam, it's not in 4K. It's not in 4K, man. It's not. They rarely are. Why don't you just say, oh, wow, this is in 4K when it is? Because it'll save you a lot of time.
It'll save you a lot of time.
It'll save you a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah, I liked Godspeed. Going back on topic.
Yep.
But I thought that context made that theme make a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, it does. I had no idea. I
Yeah.
had no idea that was the
I
background
mean,
behind.
I was kind of curious about some of the people who got hit by that, some of the shows that got erased by that, and how the people felt behind it. Obviously not good.
Not happy.
Yeah.
I would be furious.
Yeah. I mean, that would be devastating. You work on a show. I mean, it takes a long time to put these shows together. You have to put a lot into these things.
Yeah, forget it being just canceled before you can finish. But like,
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta hurt as a creative, but like having everything you made erased. I mean, that
not getting a
sucks.
physical like release of it, man.
I mean, even for shows that are bad.
like I'm thinking of like Willow.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
what I was
so
thinking.
bad.
Willow is
Gosh,
a show that like
just for the people, like it was a craft. It was made.
it was
like
made.
by people who I'm sure tried hard. Some people tried hard, I'm sure.
Yeah. At the very least, I think it should be made
And preserved.
and preserved. Like
Yeah.
it was something that was created and released publicly. I think we should preserve that.
Yep.
I'm very much in favor of preservation for these things. It's like film, television, and video games. Video games have horrible preservation
Yeah.
right now. But like, and film and TV are much better, but they're starting to get worse, and it's concerning.
Well, like more and more stores are just giving up
Yeah.
on physical media, and like less and less people are producing them.
Well,
like for shows.
DVDs and Blu-rays are still like widely used around the world. But it's like the censorship stuff, it's the AI upscaling that's like they're changing these things, and they don't let you know they're changing these things, and there's no way to opt out of changing these things.
Yeah, you don't get any choice.
Yeah, you turn on Disney Plus and you want to watch I think it was The French Connection. You want to watch The French Connection, you want to watch it as it was originally made. There's not like an option to say like, I know that you think this movie's offensive, but I want to see the way it was originally made, even though you don't approve of it.
Well,
I know that it could be
like
offensive.
you say that even that like Star Wars, like for some reason there's an
Yeah.
aversion of giving us the original
I
takes
saw
of Star Wars.
I think it was Jon Favreau. He said, I just don't think there's enough demand.
That's the biggest license boogie.
I thought Pookie is a lie. He's not real. That explains so much.
What do you mean there's not demand?
I have no idea how he could say that. I have no idea, because you could easily, like, if I was Disney and I had just bought Star Wars and I knew that Star Wars fans were like kind of on the edge about me taking over, but also hopeful, what's a good way to cement, like, I'm going to do a good job.
Yep.
I'm going to do a good job. And what's an easy win? Easy win, cheap, quick, affordable. What do? Just re-release the original trilogy. I do a big event, May the 4th. I make it like a weekend or a week during May the 4th, because I respect the tradition of Star Wars, unlike what Disney has actually done. Couldn't stay away from the Christmas box office. Just couldn't do it. Not for one movie. You couldn't just let one franchise have May the 4th, because that's what it's always done. Gotta get the Christmas money. Okay. Anyways.
It's stupid, man. It makes me mad.
That was frustrating. I really didn't like that when that happened. But they could still do this, where they just have like a May the 4th weekend and they go, hey, we're going to re-release the original theatrical cut in theaters. You can watch it. You can bring your kids to watch it. Come and watch it. It'll be a big celebration. It'll be cool.
Yep.
It'll be cool. You should come. This is the first time people are going to be able to watch this in a theater with this high quality since it released.
Have you ever seen the original?
No.
Okay. I have, see, like, the only reason I have a VHS player
is because
of 6 movies. The first 3 are the original Star Wars trilogy, original cuts. The next 3 is also the original Star Wars trilogy, the first special edition cuts. I don't have the newest special editions.
I don't have the new. I don't know what the newest ones are. I have some special editions, but I'm not sure which ones they are. But like, yeah, you could just do that and release it on DVD, on Blu-ray. Do that within a year. Like,
yeah,
totally reasonable. But
and how much would it cost them?
Like nothing.
They would gain money. That's the only.
It would be a profit. Like, there's no way it wouldn't be a profit. But
What do they think? It's gonna harm the brand of Star Wars?
Yeah. She was.
We don't want to harm the brand of Star Wars.
It's like
It's not, the original's not good.
What is it? The National Registry, like the film registry or whatever it is. They reach out to George Lucas for the original cut of Star Wars, and he says, "No, you can have the special editions." They're just like, "We don't want those.
We don't want those.
We don't want those,
We don't
George.
want those, George.
Well, you could have them, George. We don't want those. We want the originals."
He's like, "Go watch The Acolyte."
He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't.
Okay. If Carrie Fisher was still around, she'd throw away her copy of the holiday special and start putting The Acolyte in instead. I don't need this anymore. It's been upgraded.
Ooh, new update. I don't know.
Don't know if it's gonna get physical release or not. Oh.
No. Yeah, that was one that was George tried to destroy that, which I can understand why.
Dude, it's so bad.
Not that I'm glad he didn't, because it's important to preserve these things for all to see.
Or for all to avoid.
But like, I can understand why he was so embarrassed by it, that he didn't want anybody to watch it. It's pretty bad, but like, I still think it's important to preserve those things. But like, I wish that they gave you the option to opt out of these changes they make for these like special editions and things like that.
I know.
Because most of the time you don't even know because they don't tell you. They're not upfront about it. They're not honest about it. They just slip it in. Oh, this is like the remastered version. It's better. And that's like all they tell you. It's like, wait, this scene is completely different. It's like you redid the whole thing. Like, it's fundamentally changed. No, it's better this way. Why did you change the alligators in the Lion King scene? Why?
Yeah, I don't get that. I really don't get that.
Why wouldn't you let me opt out of that? Why wouldn't you just let me opt out of it instead of changing it and not letting me know, hey, there's some changes. You might not like
Yeah.
them. If you don't like them,
Well, they'll change things like the alligators, but they won't change like animation mistakes. Like sometimes the eyes don't match. Like
yeah,
sometimes the pupils are miscolored.
they won't they won't fix coloring errors, but they'll reanimate
They'll
the
change them.
alligators.
They'll change things. And I'm like, what?
It's a whole it's reanimated. That we're talking about the alligator scene from I Can't Wait to Be King in the original Lion King, the only Lion King. And they changed the alligators in that sequence. They change one shot where it's just the alligator singing. They change it. They reanimate the whole thing in a very different way.
I just don't understand.
You know what? If you want to make those changes, that's fine. I just wish you could opt in or opt out.
Yeah. So this is kind of a super weird because we're already off topic at this point.
Yeah, we've been off topic.
So I'm like 8 years old, right? I'm at church camp. Okay, I love Skittles, right? Skittles are like my favorite thing, and then so
That's
I'm going to
true.
go buy snacks of Skittles, and they've got original, but not, and the label says now with green apple. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Original now with green apple. Okay. A year or two goes by, you get a pack of Skittles. It says original. Nothing different about the label. Green apple's in there. It's replaced lime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second. They're trying to fool us. What is this? Everyone should be furious. Everyone's like, what? It's always been green apple. And I'm like, no, it hasn't. And it was years and years later. I was 8. So, oh my gosh. So 8 years later, I'm working at camp, right?
Yeah.
And I had a camper who was like 6 years old and was like, yeah, I heard it used to be lime. And he said he would, when he went home, because I told him how mad I was, that it was, he said he would go home and write a letter to Skittles. and today, like nowadays, it's back to lime.
It was
like
that camper.
I like to think that I'm the one who inspired.
You inspired the person who demanded change.
I have an ad saved on my Instagram, whatever, of Skittles, and it's the ad is, I kid you not, it's someone the ad is someone from Skittles reading a letter, and it says, Skittles, no one ever wanted a green apple Skittle. And then he just puts a letter down and says, we are sorry, and that's the end of the ad. And
that's a good ad.
I just like to think that that's the exact letter that my camper wrote.
We write a letter to Disney. Nobody wanted the
like,
acolyte.
Why are you you lied to us? It's not the original.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing that bothers me. It's like, okay, you're offended, but as long as the original is available, and it's easily accessible, it's not being like hidden or forced away or being like erased, deleted, Thanos snapped, whatever. Then you can make your changes. Just make sure people are aware of them, and then I'm okay.
And give both options. Give options.
Yeah, I mean, that's the really big thing. It's like it's the way they lie about it and they hide the original thing. This was always the way it was. That's the big thing. That really bothers me. It's really frustrating when they do stuff like that.
Yep.
But that's our tangent about about physical media and censorship. So I don't know if I have too much more to say about Godspeed, but we should probably say something.
I don't think I have too much more to say. I really like the tone of it.
Yep.
I would highly recommend it, not to little kids, obviously.
No, it's like PG-13 level. So there's not a lot of like language or anything, but it deals with some heavier topics that you should be aware of if you're going into it. So don't watch this one with the little kiddos, little Jimmy, Jim Bob. Don't watch it with him. You can watch it with Jim, who's too old to be called Little Jimmy, Jim Bob.
His name's getting longer every time you say his name.
It's an adaptive nickname.
It's adaptive. Junior.
Yeah, Junior. Don't watch it with Junior. You can watch it with Senior, but don't watch it with Junior. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot, especially if you like sci-fi and kind of that sort of tone, the serious tone.
It's got an interesting animation style. It's it's unique.
Yeah,
Very
if
unique, and
if
it's
you're
free.
interested in that,
I just
all of it's free.
all of it's free.
All of it's free.
YouTube's awesome.
And if you like these shows, support them,
Oh yes.
because that's how you get more of it. And these people work hard on this stuff, and they do it for free. Like, the only way they're getting money from it is when
If it's successful and
if
people
it's successful,
support it.
if people watch it, if people support it, if you like the show and you see some merch from the show that you like, buy it, as long as
Hey,
it's
if
reasonable.
they have that comb from Long Gone Gulch, I am buying that
Hey
sucker.
man, if they have a Ronette, I'm gonna get me one. I'd buy a Ron. I'd buy one of those. I would buy a Ronette comb. That would be cool.
That'd be pretty nice.
That would be a pretty good merch idea.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy that. But these shows usually have some merch and stuff that you can check out. I know Glitch has tons of it. I'm sure Lackadaisy has some. I'm not certain about Long Gone Gulch or Godspeed, but I'm sure they have ways to support them, whether it's Patreon or a Kickstarter or something like that. Go ahead, if you go over to their channels, you go over to those videos, those pilots, you should be able to find ways to support them, even if it's just by leaving a comment saying, hey, I liked this.
Can't wait till episode 2.
Yeah, you could do that. So, if you like them, if you check them out and you like them, support them, because they're worth supporting. Even the ones that weren't necessarily for us are still worth watching, giving a chance, because a lot of people liked
Digital
them.
Circus.
So yeah, a lot of people like Digital Circuits, even though it's not necessarily our jam. It might be yours. So yeah, check it out. I think all of them are worth checking out. If I have to give an order of recommendations, I'm probably going to recommend, based on what I like, Long Gone Gulch, probably Godspeed, Lackadaisy, and Digital Circus.
Yep, I might switch Lackadaisy with Godspeed.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable to do.
That might be my only one, but
I was kind of teetering back and forth myself.
Yep.
But yeah, so indie animation on YouTube is in a very hopeful place.
I'm really excited.
There's a ton of stuff out there, and it really seems like this stuff could start taking off. It feels more possible than ever to be like have a successful launch of a show from YouTube, from like an animated pilot.
Just a personal thing, like seeing Disney going entirely to 3D, like it's really refreshing to see like 2D animated things on YouTube, man.
And there's a lot.
There's a lot of it. It's so good. It's nice.
It's a shame that the big studios aren't really doing 2D anymore, but the small ones are.
Yeah.
A lot of the small ones are 2D studios, which is really cool because 2D's awesome, and
Yep.
I really love it. I really love 2D animation, so just it's really encouraging to see that it's still alive and well, at least in some spaces.
Yep.
Even though it's not the big Hollywood spaces, but hey, the big Hollywood spaces are not the best spaces right now, anyways. So and there's plenty of indie studios for film as well that are are doing 2D animation, or even other forms of animation like claymation. There's a lot of cool animated stuff out there, and there's a ton of it on YouTube. So if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I would say do it, because there's so much cool stuff to find. As far as pilots, there are tons of students post their thesis films on YouTube as well. In
a lot of short stories,
short films, tons of short films out there. I remember there was this one really cool one where it's like stop motion animated of this like samurai guy. Like he's got like a massive hand, and it's all like with these wooden puppets. It was really cool to see. I've watched tons of stuff. There's roughs from animators from like major film projects like Prince of Egypt, from canceled films. Like the DreamWorks film about the guy in the shadow, which the roughs, the pencil animations from that are just very good, very expressive. James Baxter's got stuff here. There's tons of stuff to check out. So go looking, go diving. You can start with these shows, or you can just wing it and see what happens. But you should definitely check out YouTube on animation on YouTube, because there's so much good stuff to find. That's my recommendation.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
what I like.
I'm just gonna recommend Long Gone Gulch just to watch it over and over again.
Just that one. Don't watch anything else.
I mean,
just watch that one. Watch that one.
There's a lot of good stuff.
We gotta watch.
You can watch Monkey Wrench
Yeah.
after we talk about it.
Yeah, after we talk about it.
Actually, no, probably before.
Or before. Before's good too. Because we do want to talk about it. We might be holding off till the next episode, because that was supposed to drop sometime soon. Who knows when soon is with animation, but
Yeah.
we might
see.
hold off. We might hold off until it drops the next episode, because we don't want to record an episode and drop it and then there's a new one, so it's immediately outdated. So but we'll see. We do want to talk about it in the future, because Monkey Wrench is very good and we very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very good.
So there's another recommendation for
there we
you.
go.
So all right, do you have anything going on your channel?
Oh yeah. But before we go, I'm gonna show you some memes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna. So. Sick.
Did you know?
That's hilarious.
How did you know that was my reaction? How did you know? I don't remember telling you that beforehand.
I just guessed, man. I know you too well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I love this scene in the movie.
I like that scene. That was very funny. I have thought about it, actually.
Because I haven't seen the first two.
I haven't seen the first two either.
I think we didn't have a guest on
I
who
was
has
thinking-
seen all of them.
Piano Eagle.
Piano Eagle seen the first two?
Piano Eagle's a Sonic fan.
Okay, awesome.
So, I was thinking we could have him on, because I kind of want to see Sonic 3 just because it has Shadow in it.
Me too. I
That's
was
like, that's the only reason.
dude, the trailer went so hard. I was like, oh my gosh.
Shadow's just a funny character.
I just love this picture, man. It's so good.
It's about how many people are on our channel.
I think this format is super good. Because his leg is so extended.
It's pretty good. It's a fun foreshortening.
Okay, I think the next one has sound.
I think it's high time I dust out the riffraff.
Boss, we got you a present.
Well, I must say that's a proper distraction.
I mean, we weren't that harsh on it, but
No, we're not. But, it's
but it
still,
was funny.
It's a funny clip.
It is a funny clip.
Let's see.
I'm so excited.
It's true. I am really excited for Arcane Season 2.
I think I swallowed a bug.
You got a big fat bad for dinner? What's that?
Nah, just
I got a rare blood cancer called
No!
polycythemia vera.
No! No, not the boogie meme. That cat man didn't deserve that.
Why, right? I wanted to try to get it like fading away.
Oh, gee whiz! I forgot you said there was a boogie meme.
It's been so long on that one, trying to get the audio lined up.
Gee whiz!
I got the idea of doing memes from just watching Long Gone Gulch. I was like, man,
Yeah.
it's so good.
It is pretty good. That's pretty funny. I like them a lot.
I've got cancer.
I've got a rare form of cancer. Polycythemia. Oh,
Okay, but that's all I've got. That's
gee.
all I've got.
The people who don't know who Boogie is are going to be so confused if they make it this
If
far.
they make it this far.
If they make it this far, they're gonna be so. I'm not gonna give you the context. You're gonna have to look for that because that's a whole old ordeal, man. That's a journey you have to go on your own.
All right.
Gee whiz.
You weren't expecting that last one.
No,
were
I
you?
really wasn't. I mean, they were all pretty funny. I like the monkey wrench one a lot too, even though
Yeah.
we
I
weren't
must
that
say
harsh
that
on
is
it,
a
but-
proper distraction.
It's true. It is a proper distraction, which we've had a lot of this episode. So,
Yeah.
but I think they were pretty good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Talked about a lot of stuff. So, thanks for listening. Hopefully you liked our tangents. I mean, if you made it this far,
I
you know,
hope so.
at least thank you for tolerating them. But yeah, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us, listening to us talk about some animation and stuff. We really enjoy this stuff. We're really passionate about it. I'm really hopeful for the indie sphere in animation in particular. I'm really excited to see where it goes and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
And I hope we get some really good shows out of it because I think that's very likely, very possible.
Mhm.
Long Gone Gulch.
Absolutely.
Especially would be.
It needs the show.
Yeah, but I'm sure there are even ones that haven't been made yet that will be great and could make for excellent series. So I'm hopeful to see what happens. It could be amazing, and it looks like it's going to be. So I'm excited about it. But
Me too. I mean, all this free 2D animation on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's go.
yeah, so catch you later. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're covering
Yeah,
next,
no.
but
Yeah,
stick around. I'm sure it'll be.
we will be
interesting.
talking about something. We're probably gonna talk about War of the Rohirrim
Yep. Yep.
um,
Absolutely.
with Seth. So if you like Lord of the Rings, and you're interested in hearing us talk about it, stay tuned. We're probably gonna talk. We want to talk about Monkey Wrench, very much. Don't know if it's gonna be right away. We don't know when it's gonna be, but we're planning on doing that sometime. Might do Sonic 3.
Might do Sonic 3.
Might do Sonic 3. We'll see. So, thank you for listening to us. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
So,
Let's catch y'all next time.
bye.
Bye.